morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to WZAA 106.9.
Hey.
And this is the Morning Zoo, and we're all kind of in hibernation this morning. It seems like we're all like,
We're lagging because Kim Michaels is out of office today.
Yeah, Kim Michaels, she's really, right now. Cause
She's in get well soon mode.
Yep.
It's not the COVID, though, folks. So
Yeah, we hope not.
No false rumors about Kim having the COVID.
Yeah, no COVID Kim. Just Comrade Kim.
Just call me Kim.
Yeah, just Comrade
She does
Kim.
not have the COVID.
So Facebook Live, hopefully you guys can hear us okay. And when you get on there, if you don't mind, share the show. Share the show. We'd appreciate that very much. Let's see if I can find my own Facebook Live here going on. You think I can on Facebook?
I have full confidence in you, Charlie.
It might take a few minutes. Let's see. Anyhow,
You can do it.
happy 4th of July coming up.
Yes.
Last day is June 30th, which is kind of hard to believe, isn't it?
I'm glad.
Oh, I'm very good.
We survived another month. Like, we should get some kind of survival calendar and get, like, gold stars. Like, you made it to another month.
I know
Like,
it.
next
No
level.
kidding.
Power up.
Jeremy Sloan's watching. How you doing, Jeremy Sloan? Connie or Ice Sears. I'll have to talk about Connie or Ice Sears later. Once we get Rick and everybody in here and we get going on things.
It's almost like life has become some kind of weird game, like video game at this point. Like, did you see that couple who had to defend their home in St. Louis that people are making fun of?
Yeah, I did.
Like,
and they're both lawyers.
Yeah, and they're like making fun of these people. I don't know. I do the same thing. You want to attack me in my home? I'm sorry. I'd pull out guns too.
Well,
I mean, they didn't know what they were doing with them. Obviously, they don't know how to hold a gun. I don't.
That's what I was kind of giggling about, was because
they didn't know what proper
didn't have
trigger
their finger on the trigger very well, did they?
Well, that's not probably a bad thing in that
They
case.
didn't know how to shoot anybody, but at
Kinda
least they were
waving it around.
trying.
Hey, if we'd had some fireworks. There we go. 4th of July, you know. So you guys got big plans for the 4th of July?
Wilmington is having their fireworks.
I
It's just at
know.
the
Fairgrounds.
the fairgrounds rather than the park. That's the first time in, I guess, history that they've had them at the fairground.
Yeah, well, you know, Rossie's, there's a big, I guess, fireworks. Rossie's owns a big place around Wilmington somewhere.
Yeah, off Farmers Road.
And they do a lot.
They're one of the largest fireworks companies in the country.
Yep, and they do a lot of practicing at Wilmington. At the fairgrounds. Training.
Yeah, when I used to have my office there on the west side of Wilmington, there were quite a few times when you'd get fireworks displays for free. But, Rossie's, they do the EBN fireworks Labor Day down on the river in Cincinnati.
Right.
I don't know who does Red, White, and Boom up in Columbus.
Are they even having that or not having that?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
doubt
mean,
they're having
Columbus right now, they just have to get rid of their rioters. That continues
still
to go on.
rioting up
Oh,
there?
yeah, they're still having problems. So,
Brandon Grimsley's watching. How you doing, Brandon? I know Hamilton County and Montgomery County's spiking right now with the big COVID stuff, but Franklin County's not, supposedly.
Of course, yeah, Southwest Ohio supposedly has these spikes. But, I was telling you earlier before we were on the air that Bill Raybeck called me last night. His wife works for Cape May, and she has some friends that are obviously in the medical field that were nurses. But there was, and she didn't mention the hospital. Maybe that was purposely, or at least he didn't mention the hospital. But this was a hospital in Montgomery County, and the entire hospital has been quarantined, from the doctors to the nurses to everybody that works in the hospital down to the janitors. That they had, the entire hospital have to be quarantined because of COVID-19. But then what she was also relating to Bill's wife was the fact that, and he thinks he might be able to get one of these nurses on the razor's edge this Sunday. We'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, she had another nurse friend because they're now starting to test hospital employees and things like that, because obviously they want to make sure that they're not actually passing on COVID, from hospital workers. But her other nurse friend that worked at another hospital, they had seen some spikes in their testing, But there were several nurses that got the idea of just sending the tests in without taking the test, just sending the test in. They all came back positive.
Yeah, that's
so one of the things in DeWine's press conference yesterday, he was asked by a reporter, and they simply asked him, they said, well, we understand that there's about a 40% rate of false positives. DeWine was real quick to to jump on that and say, no, I've not heard anything about any false positives. So we know the fix is in. We know what they're doing. We know that, they're expecting. And Bill Gates came out yesterday also, and he said that November was going to be, another big spike in COVID-19. So, I saw something about the the vaccine's going to be about $1,000 a hit. So could you imagine inoculating 350 million people at $1,000 a hit?
Who can afford that?
I'll pass.
Yeah. So.
Brandon Grimsley, he said Columbus is cleaning up downtown. The restaurants are supposed to open the 21st. Tyler Mountjoy is watching. Gib Yoho is watching. Guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you share the show. I know you're in here early, and we appreciate that. But, 4th of July this week. You guys are watching out there. Why don't you tell us, what's your plans? Are you doing anything, or is everything canceled? I know Jeffersonville usually has a nice little 4th of July thing.
We did, if you recall, Charlie, we did our first Jeffersonville fireworks, back in the days of Caitlin, if anyone remembers Caitlin from the morning show. Yeah, it's been at least 3. But they had it last year, I think, but we didn't actually do it. Didn't do the... I'm sure that in Wilmington, since they've, and I don't know why they moved it from the park to the fairgrounds, other than they think that maybe social distancing, the social distancing can be done better from the
I have no clue.
I mean, they're both outside, so I don't know how much further apart you can get. Than,
I have no idea.
Like, we're all outside. Don't stand on top of me while fireworks are going off.
Yeah, Brandon Grimsley, he
just
comes
throwing that out there.
I agree. I don't know.
I just
Brandon Grimsley comes back on and says the Hilltop and Bottoms is still being called the Void. Not sure why, but we've been there every day, and the community, is cleaner than it's ever been, truthfully. So.
Well, I know that what do they call it? I guess it would be the Speaker of the House in Columbus. And both houses are controlled by Republicans, as is all the offices, as far as Attorney General and the governor.
For now,
well, if you call them real Republicans, because I think most of them are rhinos. But bottom line is, there was some discussion that they thought it was legal to actually take Courthouse Square or the State House Square and make it autonomous, not in the sense like they're doing in Seattle, but that it could be guarded by, I guess, Highway Patrol or the National Guard. But they could take it out of the hands of Columbus because Columbus was not doing a good job. Mayor Ginter, being a Democrat, was letting these guys, destroy things left and right. And they were starting fires in the middle of the street, and they were blocking streets, and they were, people were being pulled out of cars. They were swarming COTA buses. And so anyway, hopefully they are getting that under control because and then we still haven't heard in the last week whether Columbus is getting the new name change. What was it? Flavortown?
No, wait a minute. You know what? I know now how I know Flavortown.
Okay.
That is Guy's Grocery Games.
His grocery games.
His store.
Oh.
Like when they go through Guy's Grocery Games, Guy Fieri, that's what they call his little store they have to shop in.
Yeah, I don't know where I've been because I don't know this guy. Guy.
Guy Fieri? You know who Guy Fieri is?
Don't have
He's a chef.
Oh, my God.
Is he...
He's great.
Is he like on cable or?
Yeah, he's on the Food Network. He hosts diners, drive-ins, and dives. Goes all around the country.
Is that anything like Dave's Dining Divas?
No. This guy actually has taste.
Bernadette Stevens is watching. Rita Wolf's watching.
Oh my gosh!
Heat Wave is here.
Heat Wave.
Speaking of Heat Wave,
have you got your mask on?
We're going to have a heat wave this next week.
Are
I
we?
hope Heat Wave isn't wearing a mask when there is
5
a
or
heat
6
wave. He'll
days
pass
in
out.
90s. Paul Fithen's watching. Let's see. Somebody else. West Jefferson is having a show at Converse Park, but you have to watch from home.
Oh,
But they have baseball
they're going to stream
in
it?
the park every day. I don't know if they're going to stream it or not.
I mean, if you
Fithen
had to
is
watch it from
watching.
home, what are you going to do? Have to stand outside your door and hope that
Watch from your
they're high
balcony.
enough?
Yeah, probably.
So heat wave is going to be in this next Saturday or Tuesday.
Say what now?
Heat wave's coming next Tuesday.
No, he didn't say. No, the heat wave.
I
There
was
is a
like-
heat wave, actual heat wave.
Oh, a
coming.
heat wave. Well, that's 3 days in a row that are in the 90s.
90. Say, speaking, I do have a guest ready to come in, but we need a microwave available.
Well, soon.
Do we have a microwave?
We don't have a
said
microwave
not yet,
currently.
soon.
We've got a convection oven coming and we have a microwave coming. So are we
Next Tuesday,
are,
will we have a
are we getting
microwave?
breakfast? Probably
Yes.
not. No,
we are
it's,
going to get breakfast.
it's probably going to be about a month. And a lot of the public out there, they're not aware of the fact, but we are selling the homestead, and we're going to be at least temporarily right here in the studio. We have
Can you tell how excited his wife is?
Can you
when
not
I'm saying-
tell people where we live on television?
We have 4,000 square feet here. Besides the studio that we're in currently, we have also what we call the store, which we've got a liquidation. We're doing live sales shows. I've been talking about
so
now
now
for
that
3
you know
years.
where we live, please don't randomly show up here. This is not an open invitation to come to my home.
I don't know. She makes good food.
She
This is
does.
not an invitation
And
to
you know-
come to
She's
my
a great
home.
cook.
You know
Just
what?
so we're clear.
It's that Italian in her,
She
Jewish
posts
Italian.
all that stuff all the time.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
it makes you hungry, doesn't it?
no,
And it makes me
I do
fat.
cook a lot.
Rick's spoiled.
Actually, you've lost
She-
9 pounds in the last 2 weeks.
That's true. She loses weight, I get fatter.
He's been on a diet. He's
I've
lost
not really
9
been on a
pounds in
diet.
2
It's been
weeks.
moving all this crap from the house to here.
They do have a lot of stuff.
Boxes and furniture and all. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna fill
Working
that.
out, eating healthy.
The front's 2,000 square feet. We're gonna fill it with stuff. So anyway,
It's getting there now.
and we have a big, mean dog that lives with us here. So
oh yeah,
make sure
the
you call ahead.
ferocious Paisley pie.
Yeah, she's
She's pretty chonky.
she's
I tell you what, she could be intimidating. If you didn't
well, she
know.
looks
She
like
looks like a wolf.
Yeah, she looks
Yeah,
like a wolf.
she's a
But
big
she's
old dog.
passed out on the floor next to us. She had a McMuffin or whatever this morning. She has
Get
one
a
every morning.
sausage McMuffin from
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Mary Ann Pauley is watching. Let's see, Brandon Grimsley. Forget Guy. The new favorite in Columbus is Benjamin Kershaw. Look him up. Nosh on High.
So on High Street, I assume, is where his
Yeah.
restaurant is,
Yeah,
right?
Nosh on High.
Right. So he's the celebrity
Does he
chef.
perform
I mean, is he on television?
weddings for homosexuals? Because if not, the libtards won't like him enough to name the town after him.
Well, okay.
I'm just being
I don't-
honest.
I
That's
don't-
why they want to name this.
I don't
Flavor
think
Town.
that's the reason. Do you think that's the reason? I think it's
The
just it's a
libtards
catchy
like
name,
Guy Fieri
Flavor Town. I mean,
because he does libtard.
I would
things.
be the minute they name it Flavor Town, I'm for moving the capital to Chillicothe. Move it back.
Todd Blocker said one time supper, and Brandon Grimsley says, I already know where y'all live. So, Brent Bogan's watching. How you doing, Brent? Brent's a singer, a teacher, but he's a teacher. He travels all over the place. Doing
Does he sing as he teaches?
seminars.
Is he?
He probably could. He
Yeah.
probably could.
But do you tap dance?
Brian Corey, what's going on?
Do you have to
Corey,
tap
let's
dance?
play some golf sometime.
You keep saying that, Charlie. He's not going to play golf with you.
Brian Corey would play golf. He would beat me terribly. The guy hits the ball like
You know, I was
1,000 yards.
actually I got
Oh, yeah.
contacted by my modeling agency yesterday, and
Really?
Yeah.
I got
Finally.
offered a
in
job.
in Columbus.
No, in Pittsburgh.
Well, the job's in
The
Pittsburgh.
job's in Pittsburgh for Dick's Sporting Goods, right? But the stipulation is that my handicap needs to be under 10.
Yeah, and her handicap is
job.
12, which is still extremely low for a female. And she hits
What
off
makes
the men's
difference if it's
tees.
for advertising.
That's the crazy thing
For a
about it.
commercial for Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah, they want your handicap under 10.
So I
well,
didn't know
you'd
I
have to
need
come
like,
off the pro
also
tour in order to
be,
do.
like playing for the LPGA.
Anytime you want to play, sounds like you'll beat me because I'm
So
not very good.
I was like, I'm really sorry, my handicap is 12.
You know
And
what
they
my
were
handicap
like,
is?
well, that's not going to cut it.
Do you
I
know
was
what your
like,
handicap is, Charlie?
You guys know what my handicap is?
No, I don't.
I don't know what mine is.
Golf. That's my handicap. Golf.
Well, she will hit off the men's tees with you, so you don't have to worry about.
Funny. I was
Don't
like,
have to spot her that.
Yeah, have you ever?
This is the stipulation for a modeling gig.
Yeah.
My handicap needs to be under 10. Like, at least I know how to swing the club.
I said
for the commercial.
for
Like, it's
$1,500 a day.
and they were going to pay my hotel fees, my travel fees, because the job's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Okay?
so-
Did you
I'm
just
like,
tell
at least
them,
I
yeah,
know
my
how to
handicap's
swing
under
the
10?
club. No, because they're going to make me play rounds with professionals.
They're gonna. Is that what this?
Yeah,
for
for the commercial. I'm like,
Oh, okay. So you don't want to look too bad. I think you could still probably pull it off, but we need to go to the course,
like,
and you need to practice a little
no,
with
because
Charlie.
they need me to do it Thursday.
Next Thursday?
No, this Thursday.
This Thursday. Oh, well,
was
that's
like-
that's not going
And
to
they
work.
told me this yesterday.
All right.
I was
Todd
like,
Blocker, he's already against you. He says won't shop at Dick's.
Well, part of the reason that he won't shop at Dick's is because they don't sell guns anymore. Is that right?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume so.
Jared
but
Ward, how you
it's
doing?
just a job, Todd, contracted by an agency. I don't get to pick who they get, jobs from.
I think you should go do it.
Well,
Why don't you just tell 'em,
but that's Thursday, Charlie. We'd have to
It's like 2 days from now.
So?
now call
I
him.
don't think I can improve my handicap that much in
Well,
2
well,
days.
call him and find out if the 12 will work.
Let me tell you, a handicap's like a credit score.
Plus, it would be.
And I haven't
There's 4 or
played
5.
regularly since
That's true.
college.
Yeah, you each agency has its own credit
Yeah,
score,
there's
doesn't
4
it?
or 5 different credit bureaus that have credit scores. So we can just make a different credit or a different golf handicap bureau for your, and say
You just want to fill in my scorecard and sign off. Just be like, yeah, she did great. Like,
The only thing I would say is if they're actually doing the commercial on Thursday, and you tell them that your handicap is 6. And
okay, I can't cut my handicap in half.
no, what I'm saying is, whatever you tell
I'm
them,
not that
how are they
good.
going to know that? I mean, you're going to.
Because they're going to make me play and record it. They're
So
going
so
to know
you're saying
if I
that you don't
get double boat.
you don't
like,
get paid. They make you pay for your room and your board and everything if they find out that you were fibbing.
I don't know. I might even
Everybody
lose
can
my
have a bad
contract.
day.
Little
I mean,
white
I
lie.
guess.
That's true. Everybody.
A little
Charlie,
white lie.
there
Like
you
if
go.
you're a really crappy golfer,
That's
I
true.
think they're going to know.
Well, no, I mean you're not. You obviously played on your college team, so you have to be pretty decent, don't
Well, I
you?
felt bad. Did you watch? You guys probably didn't watch any of that golf tournament this weekend. There's a guy there. He was ahead going into the final round, and he's had problems in the past with the yips and his mental aspect of the game. And he got to about, I don't know, the 12th or 13th hole and just blew up. He went from like first to 7th or 8th. I mean, like on one hole almost. I felt so bad for him. I can't think of his name because one somebody I was real familiar with.
Well, the one that I have all the problems with is the windmill. You know that spins.
Have you watched that? Holy moly!
Do they have professional putt?
It's on. You know what? It's on. I think it's ABC one night.
See now, I could see us doing that on Campus Nation.
Holy moly is hilarious.
Holy moly, that's what it's called.
They have I'll just give you an example. One of the holes. They have hole number 2. It's called.
Right.
Okay, and you have to putt like in a gap. I don't know, it's maybe a foot wide, and you have to putt all the way past all these outhouses. Now, as soon as you get through the outhouses to the actual green area, there's a light that comes on the outhouses, red and green. Well, as soon as that light turns green, you got to take off and run past the outhouses because in like 2 seconds, they're going to start opening these doors. And if they open the door and you run into it, you get knocked into the water.
Oh, okay.
It's
I thought maybe
hilarious.
you'd get something dumped on your head from the outhouse.
They've got this one hole, too, where you have to wear like a flame retardant suit because they have dragons. Like, I'm not kidding. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff.
So it's called Holy Moly.
Yep.
Now that would be a suggestion for Columbus. You want to rename your city? Just call it Holy Moly.
There you go. I tell you, it's a funny show, and they've just got all kinds of crazy holes, and most of them involve water. Like there's one.
So how do you find these shows?
It's just on regular TV.
We
It's
don't
on
have
regular
cable,
television?
so this is why we don't.
This is
know
regular
exists.
This
television.
is regular television. It's like ABC. I think.
Oh, well, I mean,
We don't have
that
cable.
television on the wall over there is a Samsung, and they have, I guess,
It's a smart TV, but I think it gets regular cable. We
well,
don't use
yeah,
it
it
for
gets all
anything.
kinds of programs, and it's not, you don't
It's just on
subscribe
the
to
wall
anything.
You
It-
could probably look it up and watch it
No
online.
reason.
yeah, the one behind us, we will watch, most of
Get
your
all the different
streaming
streaming
services. It's a Fire TV that's
on it.
behind us. The Samsung over there, we actually plugged a Fire Stick into it, but it gets all kinds of regular channels plus
And then
other
the
programming.
TV in front of us is obviously just a monitor.
Yeah, the one that we see ourselves on in the front there
Doesn't get any
with a
channels
slight
but
delay.
us.
No, well, it gets us. That's all that matters.
That's it.
Best program on the internet.
Levi Matthews is watching. Jessica Butler is watching. Phyllis Holloway is watching. Appreciate you guys joining us. If you don't mind, hit that little share button. Share the show.
We're up to what did we say?
Last
3,200
week,
views,
yeah, it was
We got a little over
3,200
3,200 hits from last week.
3,200 views.
and we
on
had
his
Sean
Facebook.
Poole on last week. That
Yeah.
that was helpful.
And Sean
Sean
sounded
always
good.
bumps the numbers up. Yeah,
Sean
you know,
sounded
I'll
good.
tell you a little something here. Was it yesterday that I have my phone in my pocket and I have my wallet in my pocket, and I don't know how this
was pretty funny.
dials.
No, what happened was we were in the car and he was on a Bluetooth talking to Cowboy Joe Holdren, who does our outdoors program in the car, and he put his phone in his pocket with his wallet, and I don't think the lock screen ever
Works,
initiated,
I guess.
and it bumped up against his wallet, and he started video calling Sean Poole. So he was on a video call.
I'm
with
hearing
Sean
this noise
Poole,
out of my pocket.
and it's like he's on a video call with Sean Poole, and he's having a conversation with
And
me.
I pull this out of
And
my
he pulls
pocket,
it out of his pocket,
and there's
it's like,
somebody
what
on the
heck?
screen. I
And
didn't know whether it was
Poole's
Sean.
on the screen.
And I just
listening
hang
to
up
our
or
conversation.
turn
I
it
just
off
hung
or
up.
whatever. I'm thinking, what the heck? This phone does this all the time.
Sean, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean.
Sean. Yeah. Besides, it was probably not an interesting call on his part because if it was in my pocket, he was probably looking at, black. Because
We don't want to know what he was looking at. Just saying. Just saying.
Dollar menu receipts from McDonald's.
Lori Bitzer, I can't say your last name, Lori. Lori Bitzer is watching. There you go. You fill in?
you got it half right, Charlie.
I know Lori Bitzer, but her last name I'm not that keen on. I just don't understand how to say it. But July 4th, we've kind of talked about where we're going and all that, and we're not doing anything. Maybe
I
going to
So you're not doing
that
anything?
We might get together with my friend Kelsey from college.
Oh.
She
Kelsey
lives
from
in
college, yeah.
Cincinnati.
She
and,
just passed the bar. She's an attorney now.
She's an attorney.
Which bar was it? Lincoln Street? Or, no, I'm just kidding.
Anyway, she works in corporate law.
Generations Bar? No.
No.
Gil fill in. There we go. Gil fill in. Thanks for the
Phonetic spelling.
Phonetic spelling. Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie's, a teacher, but the wrong kind. He's
Well,
a
you gotta
music
look this
teacher.
name.
He doesn't understand phonetics.
Judy Holmes Hatfield's watching. Hey, just also want to point out, since I did mention Generations, that was my lead in. We do have a cruise in Thursday at Generations. You guys ought to come out. Come out and eat some pizza Thursday.
I'll take
We've
it
been
under
busy moving,
consideration.
Charlie.
Oh, well, this will give you a good break.
You know,
from
we
that.
actually we
5 to
usually
8.
we make anywhere from 2 to 3 trips back and forth,
A day.
25 miles
day.
down the interstate, 25 miles back. I will love saving all that gas, when not having to drive back and forth from Wilmington to Fayette County. So that in itself will probably save us hundreds of dollars a month.
I've been getting at least 8 miles of steps in. Usually more. It's about like 18 to 19,000.
She
steps.
prances.
Wow.
She prances around
like
the studio.
Besides my regulars.
Do you ever go
like
out
5
and walk
miles?
the lot?
No, I run laps.
She
in
does
here.
it inside
I
the
run
studio.
5 miles, and then I do extra steps on top of it.
Why don't you walk the lot? Get out, get some fresh air.
Because it's hot out there.
That's true. It is. It's been really
I
hot.
sweat in here running, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
run
but we have
outside.
air conditioning in here.
Exactly. So
So, yeah.
I'm not gonna torture myself more.
So what if people aren't going to go to, if the fireworks are canceled? In Jeffersonville's, I don't know if I said this or not, but Jeffersonville's, I think, have been canceled till September. I saw that on a post.
So you think they're
They're gonna have 'em, but
postponing
they're
the
gonna have 'em
fireworks till
later on.
September?
Yeah,
So they're going to be Labor Day fireworks instead of Fourth of July
I don't want
fireworks.
to say for sure because I just saw one post on it.
Do you think this is a plot? You know, they don't want us to be patriotic anymore, so they're canceling the fireworks on the 4th of July.
I did see a
The
post
COVID.
yesterday where it was on Yahoo Sports where one guy just said, "Let's just quit playing the national anthem." at sporting
I have
events."
seen a lot of advertisements on social media for patriotic flag burnings,
Patriotic.
What?
whatever
Patriotic.
that means, hosted by Antifa groups all
No.
over the country.
So
Now,
those are
I don't know how like it's patriotic to burn the flag, and like I don't know how. I know it's not considered a hate crime to burn the flag, and that's considered freedom of speech, but it's considered a hate crime to burn the gay pride flag,
yeah.
which
How does
I
that
don't
work?
understand how that's like not a double standard.
I guess.
But I'm sure it's also a hate crime to burn the Black Lives Matter flag now.
Of course, you know what I say. There are no hate crimes. That's BS. You know, if you murder someone, how you murder them or why you murder them, it doesn't matter. They're still dead.
Right,
So,
still
you know,
murder.
you
Yeah,
charge them.
like-
What are you going to do? Charge them with 2 deaths, you know, or 1.5 deaths because it's a hate crime? I mean, it's stupid. I mean, where do the legislators, a bunch of
Well,
lawyers
this
getting
person
together?
was this race, so it's more murder.
it makes no
than,
sense.
Like, it's double the murder.
Yeah.
I mean,
so,
Daryl Andrew Heater, the Heat Wave, says Asheville 4th of July is canceled. No festival this year. Also, Mount Sterling canceled their little parade and festival. Charles Hampton is watching. Thanks, guys, for watching. Like I say, if you don't mind, hit that share button.
well, Charlie,
whether or
maybe we
not-
should all go over to your house.
I don't think, this is weird. Last week, I'm DJing at Chubby's Pizza, which I will be tonight from 5 to 8. But there's this guy that comes up to me. Says, "Hey, what are you doing the 4th of July?" I said, "Well, I was supposed to DJ a car show, but it got canceled." He says, "You want to come DJ our private party?" I'm like, "Yeah, sounds good." So I give him a price. He says, "Great, we'll do it." And then I give him my card. I said, "Well, call me so we can get with the details." And he hasn't called me yet. So I don't
So you're
know if-
not sure whether you're
I don't know if
DJing or
I'm
not.
DJing a private party or not on the 4th of July. I gave him a great price, and I told him we'd stay as long as he wanted to for that price. So we'll see.
As long as there's food, right?
It's steaks.
Oh, steaks. Oh, that's why you'll stay as long as you want to.
Steaks, yeah, steaks.
That's a nice party.
So I'm gonna quit talking about 4th of July. You guys obviously don't want to talk about that. Any good 4th of July memories out there, though, real quick before we move on from 4th of July? Anything? No.
Not really.
I tell you, I
Nothing
miss-
I could say on here.
I think the best fireworks around here.
Nothing
is
you should probably
courthouses.
say on here, or
Well, this is also over the air on radio, so
Courthouses is canceled also. That was
so
that
there's
would've been
nothing
July
going on
3rd.
anywhere in Fayette County. Is that what we're saying?
That's right. And Wilmington's the only show in town again. And speaking of the only show in town, the Sabina Pool is just having a rip roaring summer because they're packed about every day because they're basically the only show in town.
So are they passing out COVID left and right? Is that what's happening?
I don't know what they're doing, but they're having a
Does
good
does
summer.
does chlorine kill COVID? Maybe.
Yes.
I would imagine
Yeah.
Yes. Chlorine
I mean,
kills about everything.
chlorine kills about everything.
Yeah.
It's,
Do they
it's
put that
like-
stuff in the pool so if anybody does anything in the pool,
Yes.
you
Yeah,
can
I mean,
see?
you can pee in
So-
a pool and then
well,
you're
no.
still good to go.
Well,
so
what I'm
why
saying,
can
does
you
it color
not-
the water,
No.
No, they
dramatically?
don't
So
do
you know,
that.
look at that person there.
No.
Get him out of the pool.
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
There's a little kid in. Think about it.
Mm,
that'd be
yeah,
bad.
probably not a good idea to hang out there.
Yep. Ernest Rosser is watching. Ernest, he had a very cool car at our car show last week. He had it was like a 65 Dodge, and it's going to escape me. It was all dedicated to the, help me out, Ernest.
Is this the car that I saw online
Yeah.
dedicated to the Tuskegee Airmen?
Thank you, the Tuskegee Airmen. I just had a brain.
It was very cool.
And it was a flamethrower, too. That car could throw flames
So
out the
it really
back.
could, huh?
Yeah, it was a neat car, and we're appreciating Ernest for bringing it down. Yeah, he won the Army trophy. Speaking of that car show, I'll mention it was on my list. We raised enough money we're going to be able to buy 4 banners for veterans. So Kim Michael's dad's going to get one. My uncle, who was killed in action in World War II, is going to get one. Then we're going to try to find 2 families that would like to have one but can't afford it. And Connie Rice Sears.
Well,
is
there you
gonna
go.
be
Just
looking into that
leave
for us.
Charlie a note there on Facebook, and we'll.
Yeah, 600
Get her done.
600 and some dollars we raised in that one. And, Saturday the weather was sketchy. We only had about 50 cars, and we really.
But this wasn't as bad.
100.
This has
The
not been
weather
as
being
bad a summer as you had last
Oh, I
year.
know, it
mean,
rained
there
a
was
lot
rain
more.
just about all the time.
it rained
So
a
at
lot
least
more.
we're a little drier. It's just that a lot of these
Everything's
shows.
canceled because of the COVID.
That's right.
crap.
So it's
Yeah.
like one pandemic or one. I guess we got to build an ark, Charlie.
Let's see. J.D. Creamer's watching. Richard Jones is watching. Heatwave says, right now, as I know, Pickaway County Fairgrounds are having the 4th of July fireworks this year. Have not heard them canceled.
Well, they haven't canceled the
Pumpkin show, yeah.
they haven't canceled the fair in Wilmington though. Isn't the
No,
Clinton County Fair going on?
Yeah.
And they're even having rides. I thought at first they weren't going to have the rides, but
Well,
they,
Highland County come out saying they're going to have a full fair.
Well,
Rides, food.
well, now
everything.
Highland County always has theirs. What the first week that the kids are back to school, or the second? It's
Well,
September,
Yeah, it's Labor Day, first week there after Labor Day.
right?
Labor Day's
They're the only school that I know in the area that actually has built in, a week off for the fair,
all Highlands County schools, you go to school for 2 weeks.
and then
You're
you
out
take
a
off
week.
for a week.
Which is very weird.
Well, I
It
mean,
is
right now it won't matter anyway because half the kids aren't going to be in school,
Well-
because of,
And it's funny you mentioned that because that's on my list too. Cincinnati Public Schools is going to go to a blended schedule where and this is
is that the same as
super-
hybrid?
this is super dumb to me as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
You
leave
go-
it up to government.
You go 2 days a week in class, 3 days a week online, and then the next week you go 3 days of school, and then 2 days a week online. So think about child care there.
Good luck to the parents.
Yeah, think
Yeah.
about child.
Well, they
May
don't
the
care.
odds be ever in your
But they don't
favor.
care. That
No
doesn't.
doubt.
That absolutely makes no difference to government. They don't care about parents and having to work or,
it makes no
planning their
I
schedule.
hope you all have enough money to hire private nannies.
Yeah,
and
or
the thing-
homeschool.
The reasoning behind it, that way they could still keep their 6-foot distancing. Now, they had an option on the table where they could go every day, but you'd have to keep a 3-foot distancing. And they didn't take it.
Yeah, but Europeans contend that, at least the doctors over there contend that 3 feet is all that's necessary to socially distance with COVID. So, is it 3 or is it 6? And what about these masks? Everybody makes such a big deal about
I
masks.
almost wore one
And it
today.
sounds like that the governor is planning on maybe, at least requiring masks in certain instances in these spiking areas. But I saw a demonstration by a gentleman that had, I guess, OSHA has an air quality indicator that will tell you whether the quality of the air in a working environment meets OSHA standards.
Yeah.
So anyway, he held it up to his mouth without a mask, and the air quality was, I think 20 is the acceptable, or 20.5, or something like that. He held it up to his mouth and was breathing, like he would regularly breathe, with this air quality indicator testing the air right around his face. So then he proceeds to put the mask on.
And it met the quality standards. It was fine without the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with the mask, within seconds, red flashing lights. And the air quality was unacceptable. So could you imagine, like the heat wave, working at Kroger all day long wearing a mask? It's no wonder he's got dead brain cells. It's not from wrestling.
First of
Heatwave,
all,
Rick
it's
said
wrestling.
that. Rick said
So there's that.
And Heatwave, the next time you're down here,
He's going to do the
give
brain
him
free
the
crawl. or
brain
whatever.
claw, definitely. You need the brain claw put on you for that.
But I mean, how are you going to make kids wear that?
That's
Like,
my point. Here you
Well-
have kids that are supposed to be trying to learn something, trying to think, trying to reason.
The way I understood this is if you're 6 feet apart, you don't have to wear the mask.
Okay, because
But-
I was going to say, well, what are you going to also do to children that refuse to wear
But
them?
wait a second. Wait a second. If they get in situations where they're 3 feet apart, they're supposed to put their mask on.
Because, like, how are you going to...
What situation would that be? Only 4 are allowed in the bathroom at a time.
Well, like maybe if you're walking to lunch.
They probably have lunch right at the
desk. How are you going to
desk.
reprimand children who want to breathe? Oh, you would like to breathe. Go sit in the corner. Like,
I don't know. You know,
you need to go home for the day.
sometimes
you like
I
breathing
wonder
too
who the
much.
real adults are here.
You like oxygen. Please go sit into the principal's office.
Well, if I was a parent, to me that's borderline child abuse, sending them to school now.
Jim Green's watching. Caleb White's watching. How you guys doing? David Weeks. How you doing, David Weeks? He's a school teacher. Now, I have talked to a couple local.
There's children with asthma and stuff.
Yep.
I mean.
Well, I'd say they get a variance.
I was going to say, like, how do you.
A variance?
Yeah.
How do you not say
that
that
a
there's,
waiver?
like, ADA,
waiver, variance,
like, stipulations on this?
I have talked to a couple superintendents, and they still have they have like 3 plans the state has basically sent, and they're just waiting because they haven't told their staff for sure what they're going to do yet. Because
Well, it's up to the local school district from what the governor is saying.
and it keeps changing.
Imagine that.
Here's a bad problem about the state of Ohio right now. They're not very clear and they're not very organized on how they're directing, like the state, the county governments to do things. I talked to the county health department, about a month ago, and I felt so sorry for the woman because you could tell she didn't agree with half of what she was even saying herself. But this is what we have to tell people,
Right.
and she even kind of said it like that, and each, and I've said this all along, each area needs to be treated differently. And Dwayne at first didn't want to do that, but now he's actually thinking about doing that.
Well, it sounds like that's what he was doing with the spiking in Southwest Ohio. So you're listening to WZAA 106.9 LPFM in Jeffersonville, Ohio. It's 8:06, the Morning Zoo.
That's right. We're in here.
Well, I was reading an article the other day, and I know this isn't exactly Ohio, but the University of Tennessee is going to require that their students get the flu shot this year.
Well, and also if there is if there's a shot for the virus, they'll have to take that.
Although the government is saying that the flu and COVID are not the same thing, they are saying that this might cut down, I guess, on COVID cases. I don't really know how that's possible. Also, not sure how you mandate that students are required to get a flu shot, but either way,
Well, they do that
if there's people
regular school,
like myself,
K through 12.
for example, who are immunocompromised, I can't get a flu shot.
Right, you can't get it.
Because
you'll get a
could
variance.
potentially die
You get
from getting the flu shot. Like if I get an immunization,
I won't get a
for
variance.
anything,
You'll get a variance.
I could die from
and
the
probably,
immunization before I die from catching whatever it is.
Probably in the name of religion too. That
I don't think they do that
Some
anymore.
states actually don't have those clauses.
I don't know whether
anymore.
Ohio still has that or
I
not.
say it's against your religion to do it. I would
Well,
say.
and once again, I mean, I know in states like New York and California, they did away with that a long time ago. You can't use religious exemptions anymore, so.
Heatwave says, Rick Phillips, you're next. Todd Blocker says duct tape, which I'm not sure what he's referring to there, but he says duct tape. And Jim Gregory, a fine patriot from Blanchester, who donated to my car show. Appreciate that, Jim. He can verify he hears us, so we do appreciate
He can verify it. So
good.
does he hear us over the internet or does he hear us over the air?
Facebook Live.
Okay, Facebook Live.
He's on
Because
Facebook
we
Live.
are also on our website on WZAA-LPFM.com, streaming live on YouTube as well as Facebook. And also we are over the air in about a 25-mile low-power radius in Jeffersonville, Ohio. So we're just everywhere.
Todd Blocker,
You can't get away from us.
DeWine needs to spend less time picking out ties. Has he ever wore a Wilmington College tie yet? I don't think he has.
Who picks out these ties?
He
though? 'Cause
probably
they're
would.
all ugly
Well,
and
I was
going to
say
match his
he
skin
probably
tone.
doesn't wear.
I'm like, boo! Can you pick a tie that matches your skin tone? Like
Yeah.
you look so washed out.
I didn't
Could
know
you
whether-
get a spray tan.
Would
Like, sir.
Division III schools count? But I know that he has worn some OAC school. I think
Right.
he's done Marietta. I think But
Yeah, he's done several. He's done Otterbein. Yesterday, I think yesterday he did Otterbein again, maybe.
yeah. Well, He's old. He's
Does
forgetting.
he like sleep in a coffin though? Because he's been looking a little
He's an
pasty.
old guy.
He is pale.
I'm not sure how old he is.
Does
but
he
is.
eat onions?
Speaking of old,
What's that have to do with?
Is he a vampire? Like he's looking real pasty.
Yeah.
Speaking of old, what about Joe Biden? I didn't realize
Ooh,
this.
child. He's still in the basement.
Joe Biden, I didn't realize this, but if Joe Biden would get elected, he is actually older than when Ronald Reagan left office.
Yeah.
When he
Boo-boo
takes
old.
office,
Does that tell you how bad the Democrats' potential as far as in winning this election is? You know, they've got Biden up by the Hillary 9, 10, 12 points, which we know is all smoke and mirrors. And this guy has not even been in the first of 3 debates. Now, what's going to happen in a debate? And I know that he was doing like a town hall in Pennsylvania where he continues to say, you know, like he grew up and he was born there and everything, even though we know he was born in Delaware.
In Wilmington.
Yeah, Wilmington, Delaware, where she was born. But
the train station's even named after him.
they won't let him.
Yeah.
They will not let him interview with any major news networks because he always
says these
crazy things. And so they'll let him interview with the local news because I guess maybe they'll edit it out.
He
or
said
whatever.
that like 120 million people had gotten coronavirus.
Yeah,
or something. Died from the
died from
coronavirus.
it.
Yeah,
So
like
that's only a third of the United
of
States
the
population. But he also said that about that many died from guns, I think, too. So now we're down to about, 70, 80 million people in the country.
Greg Yeager's on here. Greg, that's Rick Phillips right there. That's the guy that you want to talk to about the sales show stuff.
Oh, okay.
Right
Hey, Greg. How are you?
Yeah, and he's out here. I think did I give you Greg's number?
You did, but I probably deleted it because
he deletes all of his text messages.
I don't usually keep, so you'll have to give it to me again.
I'll give you Greg's number again. Or Greg, I think I may have given you Rick's number. But if not, I'll give Rick your number.
Right.
Greg, he just opened up a booth out at Cedar Creek Flea Market, about 3 stalls, but he is the eBay man. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, he had like 4,600 items up on eBay. Now he's got last time I checked, he had like 2,500. And he's just got a rip-roaring business. It's funny because the post office actually gives him his own little cart to fill up every day so he can go mail stuff. I'm serious. I mean, not a little cart, a big cart, one of those big gray things where you just. And I see him going to the post office. It's actually quite humorous. But
well, keep it up because our post office needs all the money they can get. Although I don't know, they do some crazy stuff. We sold a phone on eBay.
So most of our transactions take place on Facebook Marketplace, but we have
at least
done
for the
a
current
few
right now
on
until we do the live
eBay,
show.
And one of our eBay transactions, I guess, has gotten lost in Miami within transit.
Well, we mailed it in May, the end of May, towards the end of May.
On the 27th of May, and this person messaged me yesterday.
They hadn't gotten it.
They have not received
But-
the package.
but
Although
the
I was
tracking
already paid
shows that
by
it's-
PayPal.
Yeah.
And everything by
Yeah.
eBay, and
The tracking shows it's in Miami,
tracking
which is
says
where
it's in Miami.
it's supposed to be going. But it's been there since June the 5th and, in limbo. But the strange thing about it was
They were having it shipped to a warehouse.
yeah, he has
And
some kind of a
has
distribution
shipping
company.
company.
So
But can't figure out
I don't know
why
whether you
they
can
wouldn't
ship-
ship it to a warehouse.
yeah, I don't know whether you can ship it to anything other than a residence. Some
Or even like a regular business. Like you can't ship probably electronics to
careful how you
like
say that.
a warehouse.
yeah, shipping is one of the words we have to be careful of not
Ship.
saying.
Oh. Well, anyway, so it's just, I'm saying it's creepy, and he's like beating down my door about getting a refund.
Well, I would be too. Give me my stuff.
So,
Well, we actually
I told him he could contact his local post office because it's like
You might
15
wanna go
minutes
pick
from
it
where
up,
he lives and
you
go
know.
pick up the damn item.
you
Yep.
can say damn. Damn's
April
allowed.
Surface is watching.
Hey,
Joe
April.
Spence is watching. How you doing?
Like, you can still go get it. Like,
Well, if it's there.
Well,
it is.
the
It's
only
like
thing
15 minutes from
Yeah.
where this place is.
Well, I mean, the tracking shows,
It shows
that it's gone
at
from
his
here.
local post office.
like I said, if it's there.
Go
Yeah.
pick it up.
I don't care.
Bruh.
I don't care what it says. It's just I got so frustrated last week. I went to.
Or he may have already picked it up, and now he's just trying to get his money back for something he already
It's
picked
a
up.
scam.
I went to yard sales in Jamestown last week.
You do that a lot. You go to yards.
Hey, sometimes you get some good deals.
Yeah.
Bill Moore's watching, by the way.
I
But
do.
anyhow, here's the thing: is when you have a yard sale, you're doing it to get rid of stuff. You know, it's not.
Well, you think. Some
people.
people actually are in business to have yard sales all the time.
Well, this one lady, we go to her house, and luckily we didn't want to buy anything, but somebody else was. He had like 4 or 5 things, and each thing before she give him a price, she'd look it up on eBay, and I'm like, well, on eBay,
Who has time for
on
that?
eBay, it's going for this, and he's.
Yeah, but on eBay you're paying a fee to sell it on eBay. Plus you have to ship it, so
Well-
you're paying. Well, somebody's paying the
But
shipping.
first of all, you can price anything you want. If it's not sold,
Yeah,
it's
if
not
it ain't
selling
selling,
on
it ain't
eBay.
selling. I mean-
it's being priced on eBay, so that doesn't mean it's selling. I hate when people do that. Henry Moosey Cotton, what's going on, Moosey? Moosey's watching us from Illinois today.
Oh,
He
okay.
works out of a funeral home out there. He's got a hearse. Good guy. Sam White is watching.
So he has a funeral home in Illinois.
Yeah, Southern
Okay.
Illinois. I think he's close to St. Louis, I think.
As long as he's not in East
Bang,
St.
bang.
Louis. Ooh, that's.
I think that's where he's at.
Is it?
Well, think about it. If he's in Illinois, it'd be East St. Louis.
Well, I don't know. East St. Louis. That's a.
East St.
that's-
Louis.
I don't know that he's in St. Louis, but I think he's close. I mean, he's in that end of Illinois, I think. Brian Haynes, how you doing? Heatwave, what's he say here? A great teacher and a great coach. My Circleville High School passed away at Riverside Hospital from a heart attack.
It was COVID.
They may have said that for the
Brent
money.
Bell, you know, you're not the first person I've heard say that. Another friend of mine was, was very saddened to hear the death of Brent Bell of Circleville High School, past Circleville High School teacher.
So he was a
probably
coach?
Retired. Yeah, I know he coached wrestling. I'm not sure what else he coached, but he did coach wrestling. Well, let's move on here. We've hit a lot of my topics already. How about? Is anybody familiar with Parlay?
Je vous parle?
Yes, I am a member of it.
Well, I just joined this week too.
Did you? Okay.
And
What are you looking at me that way for, Sydney?
Je vous parle?
It's a social media site.
Parlay? Yeah, it's kind of like the conservative Twitter. Now.
Well, it's not supposed to be conservative or liberal. It's supposed to be free speech.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be what Facebook should be.
So we're saying
but
it's
isn't.
not a French-speaking.
No, it's not a French speaking.
It's spelled parlor.
They wanted a catchy name.
This is the French word for to
Parlay.
speak.
Yeah, well, and it's
Parler.
called Parlay.
Je vous parle.
Yeah,
Parler.
French is Sydney's
Yep.
first language. Her second is English.
Parlay is it's a new social
Parlez-en.
media platform. So if you are getting tired of Facebook, if you are getting tired of Twitter, the only thing, man, I tell you what, I just joined it yesterday. Man, I got like notifications coming out the butt, and I'm still trying to get used to it. But like one thing I didn't see was like you think it would offer your contacts up as possible friends, and it didn't do that because like you're on there and there's some others I know.
Yeah, I haven't really. I joined several weeks ago, but I haven't, and I don't even know. I think I saw it actually on Facebook, and I thought, well, I've tried a couple different social media sites. We even have our own that's up that we've been playing around with, but this looks like this might be at least a substitution for Facebook. If you like to, post various things and not have to
So
worry
is it
about
more like Twitter?
I think so.
it probably is. They don't have when you talk about social media, they don't have like Facebook Marketplace. They don't have those kinds of things. At least I haven't seen it.
So it's a more simplified.
And I don't think that you can. I don't know whether you can actually
I don't have
message
this. This is
each
why
other.
I'm asking because I don't know what
It's
it looks
more
like.
Twitter.
Yeah.
When we get done, I'll show it to you.
Yeah,
on my
mean,
phone.
I
but
can go
it's
make a
it's
profile,
certainly
but-
an option for people that want
to
to be
get
able.
blocked on Facebook all
C'est
the
très
time.
drôle.
And
No,
and
it's more.
the bad thing about Facebook is it's they're obviously worried about the election. So as we get closer to November, they're getting worse about blocking
Censorship?
conservative viewpoint and things like that. But I have not posted on Facebook other than stuff as far as the businesses for several weeks now. I've been very quiet. I've also gone back because I think I've been on Facebook since 2016, and I've gone back and started deleting all those posts. I'm getting ready in the event that someone other than Donald Trump is president, they won't be able to use that against me. I mean, unless they really go directly to Facebook.
You changed your whole Facebook last time because you thought Hillary Clinton was
Well, I actually had two Facebooks for a while because I was...
That was funny as heck. Y'all have been around since. Yeah, he was running around like a cat had his tail between his
Talk
legs.
about paranoia. I thought, I do not want that Facebook account to be up there if Hillary Clinton becomes president.
Oh, it was funny. Yeah,
she will be...
He cleaned it all up, started putting puppy dogs and
that's
kitty
right.
cats and stuff on it.
She'll be Clintoning me.
Why am I not surprised?
Todd Blocker, he wanted to add his French, oui. Jim Gregory
Oui,
found
oui.
a problem why he couldn't hear what was going on. His cat knocked down the speakers.
Oh, okay.
Jim, we're glad you got your pussy under control there.
That's right. Wild
see.
pussy.
Henry Moosey Cotton.
Are you allowed to say that?
Yeah, I think so.
Pussy cat,
Yeah.
Pussy cat.
Yes, it's an allowable
Yeah.
word.
And
we're talking about a cat.
Henry Moosey Cotton, here you go. I'm in East St. Louis, Illinois. I work at a funeral home. I have a 92 M&M Miller Meteor.
But now, in all honesty, isn't East St. Louis pretty rough?
East St. Louis has its problems,
Yeah.
but not like our friends across the river in St. Louis.
Well, St. Louis isn't getting any better, that's for sure. Yeah.
Todd Blocker say learn French from Pepe Le Pew. Okay.
Pepe Le Pew, yes.
Okay.
Pretty kitty.
That means he's a moray.
Mm-hmm.
Mavis Purley, that's my neighbor down the street. He's watching. How you doing? Hey, you guys still play? I mean, if you do, if you ever want to come on the morning show and do some songs like Sean Poole did last week, let us know.
We have had many a local star on here, haven't we?
And we have another one that wants to come on. I've got to get with him. He friended me last week, but he's a different style music. He's like kind of like heavy metal.
Heavy metal.
Yeah.
Hey, we're open.
We'll see. But anyhow, the parlay. Let's get back to that. If you don't like Facebook, you don't like Twitter, and it's spelled parlor, like PALRE.
For us rednecks. For us rednecks, it's parlor.
Parlor.
But I mean, the same people that you would see like on Twitter or on Facebook's on there, and it's just new. It's getting started. It's okay.
I think it's.
Allons-y.
I think it's one of the more developed social media sites as far as the way that it's set up in that. Now, the one that we're playing with, and when I say it's on one of our domains, that we're just testing it because we thought, well, we'll launch our own social media site. It's probably closer to Facebook than this Parlay, but it's also probably very difficult to keep up with everything if you get thousands and thousands of people that are joining. So I don't even know that I want to, go down that road. I've got so many things.
Address
You've already
is.
teased us. Come on.
Yeah. Well, we will. We'll continue to test it. Maybe
you can send me an invite.
We will release it. Yeah,
I can give you a little stress test.
Okay, I'll tell you what it is after the show.
Yeah.
Fine.
Well, Charlie will stress test it because he'll put his 5,000 Facebook friends on it.
I'll stress test you.
But we also have a lot of people that are in the 2A movement. We thought they've got like 60,000. Well, they did have 60,000 members. Yeah.
Is that like the double
Second
D?
Amendment. Second Amendment.
Oh, Second Amendment.
But
Second Amendment.
But that's the problem.
Double A, double D.
That's another problem, and this could happen on any platform. They started this one site, to promote the 2A movement, the Second Amendment movement, and it literally was taken over.
They had too many people with administration power,
and they
it
took
got
it over
taken
and took it a
over
different
by-
direction.
You need one boss.
And by doing that, they literally lost.
control of the purpose of the group, and it went in different directions, and
Yep, you need
they had to
one
restart
boss.
the group.
It was more libertarian leaning after that.
Heat Wave, you let us know when you want to come back on the show.
Yeah, he's always welcome
You know
to come
how to
in.
find us.
Yep, just let us know when you. I know he's been taking care of his mom, so. that's why
Well,
we're
hopefully your mother's doing fine. Now, I assume he's still working at Kroger.
Todd Blocker, you're more than welcome too to come out too. I'll find out the site at supper tonight. Oh, Todd Blocker's coming to dinner. Yeah.
I didn't make enough.
What are we
I
having
meal
for
prep
dinner,
all of
Sydney?
the meals the
What
night
is what is
before.
dinner tonight?
I believe dinner tonight is tilapia, wild rice, and coleslaw with the cilantro lime glaze.
Cilantro.
Yeah.
Lime glaze.
Hey. Well, she's got. She's like Heinz 57. She's French. She has not only a U.S. passport. She's got an EU passport. She's a dual citizen of France.
So that means when she kills your butt, you can escape the country real quick.
Well, her family has a vineyard.
come on.
her family has a vineyard in France. She keeps telling me. I said I'm not leaving the country.
Well, go check
He's
that out.
like, I don't ever want to go to France.
I mean,
He's
I might
like,
want to go to
oh,
Australia.
the people there are so angry.
I might want to go to China even. I would like to go to Russia.
I wouldn't want to go to China.
He wants to go to all these communist countries
You'd be
instead
safe.
of the beautiful vineyard of
I want to
southern
go.
France.
I want to go visit Kim's cousins in China.
He's Mr. Cheap. Instead of go live on a free vineyard that he could own in France, he wants to go live in communist Prussia.
No, I didn't
I
say
don't
live there. I just want to
understand
visit.
I don't understand
I just want to. I want to visit
I
them.
don't get this.
Well, if you pick one place anywhere in the world you'd want to go. Where would you want to go? Go ahead.
I always wanted to go to Australia because it's it's about the size of the U.S. It's very similar in a lot of ways,
Except
but
you
it's
can't
got
have a firearm.
every deadly everything. I mean, snakes,
That's
bugs, crocodiles. It's got
I'd like to see you get kicked in the face by a kangaroo.
You'd have to, yeah. I mean, it's got all kinds of dangerous animals that live in and around Australia. Probably one of the most dangerous places, especially if you're not native and you don't understand, what is poisonous, what isn't. They've got poisonous snakes and fish and everything else. But not that I would go into the ocean anyway, because there's things in there that could eat you.
Right.
Don't want to get eaten.
Well, what about you, Sydney? Someplace you haven't.
She's been all over Europe.
I've been to 27 different countries.
I know. Someplace you haven't.
Someplace I haven't been.
That you want to go to.
Have you been? You haven't been anywhere in Africa, have you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Probably Bora Bora.
Bora Bora.
The only reason I haven't gone there, I've looked into it, is because it takes about 24 to 27 hours to get there, because you have to take a large plane, then a small plane, then a prop plane, then a boat.
Wow. Yeah, that wouldn't work too well for you.
Takes a long time.
Yeah, where I'd like to go, and you guys would just laugh. But I want to go to Hawaii. I've just never been to Hawaii. I think Hawaii. You guys been to Hawaii?
I haven't been to Hawaii either.
I haven't been there.
Is that in the United States?
It is in the United States.
Okay.
Granted, it's not a foreign country, but I'd like to
Sometimes
check it out.
I've heard that. Well, I don't like to go anywhere. That's why I don't particularly want to go to France. I don't like to go anywhere where they don't like Americans. And Hawaiians are not too keen.
You live in the United States right now?
I know,
Americans
yeah.
don't like Americans.
Yeah, going to Columbus would be that way, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's getting bad.
My husband, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Andrew Heater says, "Hi, Sydney, Alexis Phillips, and Rick Phillips.
Hello.
Thanks, Heat Wave. I appreciate it. Forget that invite. Just stay in Circleville." I did. Let's see. Tom Blocker.
Charlie, you look kind of like the Philly fanatic there.
Well, yeah, I wanted to wear red, white, and blue today, and this
Right.
was like, this is really big on me though. So, but I wanted to wear.
Do you feel like we need that extra shot of red, white, and blue since everybody's...
I wanted to wear my UD hat, which is red, white, and blue, since
Right.
Sydney's singing about going to law school there. So I wore
Right.
that in honor of Sydney.
Little lint.
Got your lint.
Oh, thank you.
Been stored away.
Forget the Jello match. Let's have Rick box a kangaroo.
Oh yeah, that
That's
would
a
be
top
Kangaroos
interesting.
are cool because they have pouches.
I think the
They're
Jello
like
match
giant
would be more
pockets.
fun though.
Well, depends on who I'm in the jelly with or Jello.
Jelly, the
I was
jelly
saying
match.
Well, I was saying jelly all the time. You know,
Jello.
Yeah,
Jello.
who would jelly would be more fun?
Maybe his wife.
Strawberry.
Jello match. Sydney against Rick.
Mm.
No.
Yeah, she's too weak.
Heat wave.
Yeah, I'm very weak.
She's sickly.
Heat wave.
Have y'all
Heat wave,
seen my progress photos from lifting weights on social media?
She probably could take me now. Yeah, she's been
anyway,
working out.
You should go see my Flex Friday
now Heat
posts
Wave
on
says hello.
Instagram
Too
and
late,
on
Heat Wave.
Facebook. I'm just saying, go check them out. I've got
So
super back muscles.
Is he
You
way
want us
back
to check out your pics on Facebook, huh?
My
or
Flex
Instagram?
photos
Do you
on
do anything on Instagram?
Instagram?
You are the Ohio gentleman on Instagram, and you haven't
Well,
seen my Flex.
He's the
photos?
Ohio gentleman on other things, isn't he?
Yeah, mainly that one's the only one. Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, she's
Same.
building muscles.
Yep.
She's like Popeye the Sailor Man.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
The same.
So we talked about Parlor. I don't know how we got to France from Parlay.
That's
I
right.
guess.
Right. Yeah.
Granted, we didn't.
Sydney's
You wanted
vineyard.
to go to Hawaii. That's where you. Wanted
Yeah,
to go. I was
Hawaii.
gonna say we didn't ask where you
So,
wanted to go.
what is it in Hawaii that particularly strikes you? Is it just the fact that it's tropical and
I've always heard the island of Kauai is like the closest thing you'd find to Eden in the world. I mean, it's supposedly just,
is that the island that has the black beaches?
I don't know. I just know it's the.
Well,
it's
one
the,
of them
it's
has
the
black
less-
volcanic sand.
It's the least. How I want to say grown up.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, it's least.
Bora Bora would be pretty similar. It's that place you see in all the pictures that has the like huts over the water.
Yep.
The other place that I would pick besides that would be Dubai, just because it has all
That
those
would be
skyscrapers
interesting.
and stuff. And I think that would be pretty
Well,
neat.
Dubai-
just because it's so different than any place that I've been before. I mean, I definitely wouldn't want to live somewhere like that, but just to
Well,
visit.
it's not just that. Dubai, they're hurting financially, especially when oil prices were down so dramatically.
I mean, I think it'd be unique to see. I mean, I wouldn't want to live there, but I would want to visit there.
it's a repressive government. That's why wouldn't you?
That one guy I met a couple weeks ago, I was hoping to have on the show, but I didn't call him back since he stood us up the one day. He said that they have to get new tires on their cars every 3 months because it's so hot over there.
Melts
that
the tires.
And that's the only thing that would worry me about going to Dubai. Plus, I don't know that I would really want to go to the Middle East anywhere, to be honest with you. I mean, at one time I kind of thought it'd be kind of cool to go to Israel and check out a lot of the Christian sites, and I don't even think I'd want to go there.
Sydney's been to Israel.
I just being an American traveling overseas, I don't know that's the smartest move right now.
See, it's different because like I went for my birthright trip.
Since she's Jewish.
Yeah.
That's why I went. So
you
it's
went
kind
there.
of different.
Did you feel threatened at all when you were over there?
No. But again, I was with like a group of Jewish people.
Well, I think, and not only that, but you've got to remember, there's armed. Everybody's armed. I mean, all young people have to.
Everybody's
Yeah.
armed.
So women, men, they all
Everybody
have
I mean,
AKs
there
and-
wasn't
See, that'd be a
anyone
little
who
weird,
wasn't
too.
armed. Like
well.
children,
I think
women,
that's how they
men,
remain.
everyone.
Safe, I guess, for the most part, other than maybe a few missiles lobbing in every so often. But it's, what is it? Switzerland? Don't they all have to be armed as well?
legally.
So
Really?
that's the whole reason that they always said that the United
that's why
States
they remain neutral.
has never
because
been invaded. It's been because there's 350, 400 million guns here now, and who would want to try to invade us when everybody,
Why would you invade a country when
armed.
legally everyone has to own a firearm?
Well, that was kind of Hitler's reason for not attacking America and coming into America.
Right.
Because, you have the greatest militia in the
when
world right
almost
here.
everyone owns a
Yeah.
firearm, why would you attack
Right.
someone?
yeah, it wouldn't make much sense. would
Dave
it?
Hurst.
Hey, Dave.
Hurst. Yeah, I think Dave Hurst is in old Rocky Top,
Tennessee?
I
You mean
think
is he visiting or is he living there?
No, he's just visiting.
Wow.
Him and the
We
fam.
haven't seen him. Well, we saw him recently when he was in with the Sawmen a
Yeah,
couple weeks
he
ago.
was in. He was in.
That was a cool episode.
Yeah, it was. And I'd like to get them back.
We actually got about 2,000 views on that episode.
Yep.
Well, I mean, up to that point, there may be even more now, Sydney.
Well, and the thing that's bad about Facebook right now, it used to be you could look it up. Like it wouldn't say like on my page that I'm broadcasting from, but I could go to one of the pages I shared and it would show how many views.
Right.
And now it doesn't do that.
Well,
I don't like it.
Facebook.
It says
They keep changing
party.
all their algorithms and their ranking systems and stuff, and I think they do it on purpose
They don't want you
to
to get
make
comfortable.
it confusing, both for the users and for anyone trying to figure out what they're doing.
Well,
I stand corrected. Dave Hurst is not in Tennessee.
okay. So does he
his
know where he
son-
is?
His son is in Tennessee.
Oh,
See,
okay.
his son just got married, so they must be going down there on their
Honeymoon, huh? So they're like in
Brooke Beam's watching. Hey, Brooke. Hey,
Pigeon
Brooke.
Forge.
If you ever want to come in here, and we're here on Tuesday mornings, if you ever want to come in and talk a little 4-H action, would love to because of the, especially what's going on with the county fairs right now.
Yeah, none of us have COVID, so you don't have to worry about that.
She's like the Highland County 4-H guru. I don't know. There's a better name than that, but yeah. Todd Blocker back on Brooke Beam. Dave Hurst. Phil Hoskins is watching.
Hey, Phil.
How you doing, Phil? That looks like all the new people are watching. If you guys don't mind, share the show. Every Tuesday we're here from 7:30 to 10.
This week without Kim. Kami Kim is.
She's a little under the weather.
She. I think
She does not have COVID.
I saw her post. It was like 4:25 in the morning. She said she couldn't even keep water down.
That's not good.
So it's probably just as well that she didn't ride in the car with you, Charlie, here this morning, and that she wasn't sitting here with us.
Probably.
Because then we would probably all have some
Let
problems.
me hit a few more things here on my little list here. Let's see if we can go another way. I need to give this announcement to people. And this is so you don't make the same stupid mistake I did. Last week on Wednesday, my wife and I, we thought, well, let's just take a little short drive and go check out some Indian burial mounds. So we get down to Chillicothe.
Well, everybody does
Who
that, Charlie.
is
Yeah,
ever doing that?
let's go check out.
Wait a minute, I learned a lot here.
All right, okay,
So we get
all right.
down to Mound City Group off of 104, and you can see the burial mounds there. But one thing I didn't realize was this mound group was also a site where in World War I they had Camp Sherman. So it was also a World War I camp there. But it was just kind of neat reading the history of what they found and how far the artifacts had traveled to be in that area. How far people had brought
So they
stuff
weren't from the area; they were from other places
some
brought
were,
there.
but a lot were from the other areas. And it explained, like some of the rituals they went through. Just some history, just to do something.
Right.
No movie theaters open, so let's go do a little history. Well, then we went to this other, and this is where it's kind of funny, and I'm going to tell them myself. We went to this other one, and we're thinking, okay, we're going to go see the same thing. It's mounds, mounds. We're Indian burial ground.
Right.
So we go to this place, and it has a map, and we start off, and anyhow, we look to this left, and there's this big wide open field. Okay, nice.
No mound.
No mounds.
No mound.
The path goes straight up this hill. So we go up this hill, I bet a mile walking uphill, gravelly road. I mean, I make it. It's no problem. We get up, and there's this glorious view, again, over this same flatland.
Where is this?
And it's outside Chillicothe. It's like near Anderson Station Road.
All right.
Anyhow, we're looking down, and I said, well, maybe that's where it was. Maybe that's where the mounds, it looks like it might be a little moundy because we're so high up we couldn't tell.
You weren't on a mound?
No, you're not supposed to walk on the mounds. But anyhow, we keep following this trail all the way
burial
around.
mounds. You don't stand on people's graves.
And I told my wife, I said, I think I'm done. Let's just go back. Well, we go back, and that clearing I looked at earlier,
was full of
that was
mounds.
the place. And the only thing that you could tell, the paths weren't gravel, they were mowed. So you could go out the mowed paths, and you could see where stuff was at one time.
So there used to be mounds there?
We walked right past the stupid thing, yeah. But we did go up to the top of this hill. I mean, we're
You
way
still
up.
got a
So
beautiful
no, wait a
view
minute.
out of
Was
it,
this
so that
this
was good.
used to be where mounds were? There were no mounds there anymore. They'd
Right.
removed them.
They just removed them.
They needed some extra
Now,
dirt
the
or
other
something.
one, the Mound City group, the mounds are still there. But if you go to the one on the Interstation Road, it's just flat land.
So
it's worth seeing because really we could have walked maybe less than a football field, and and seen what we needed to see.
Which was an open field.
But instead, we walked about 10 football fields
So-
uphill.
So did they
You
remove?
got your steps in.
Did they remove the artifacts?
I think so. From that.
And so you were just going to see an open field where there used to be mounds and artifacts.
I didn't realize that when I went there. The
Yeah.
first one was cool because you had the
And that's-
mounds and you could go around, and they had little boards up.
I was going to say,
on the
why would you go
mounds.
to a place where there used to be mounds? Doesn't make much sense.
I don't think
It's
he
still a
knew that
historical
going
site.
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still
So
a
I don't think he
historical
was like
site.
signing up to see nothing in the
Hmm.
first place.
And Todd Blocker just said something. He said, enjoy those historical sites before they're all gone. Because it was interesting at the one where there was mounds, there was actually 2 or 3 park rangers working, but they didn't have the building where you could go in and watch the movie and learn about it and see all the artifacts inside because it was closed.
Well, I'm sure someone's going to say soon that that's racist or some nonsense that
Well-
history is like needs to be removed, and they're going to get rid of these kinds of things.
Well,
and
Yeah, but the
you know,
mounds
they'll
are
be
from
removed.
American Indians, aren't they?
Yes, but I'm
Yeah.
sure someone's going to say American Indians are racist or some nonsense like that, and they'll
yeah.
remove the mounds, and
Well,
they won't be there anymore.
They did have slaves.
And
Indians had
Anderson-
slaves.
Yes, so then they'll
Anderson
be
High
gone.
School right now, they're going back over that name change. They're the Anderson Redskins, and their school board's supposed to have a meeting tonight on that, whether they're going to change it.
Yeah. So they're going to be the Anderson Pansies.
I'm sure they'll be like the Red Hawks or
Yeah,
the
Todd Blocker.
Wolverines or some nonsense.
Todd Blocker, I have a pasture I can give you the tour next week.
Right. Yeah.
You know
You
what?
can go see
My
some
wife-
patties.
My wife and I had a good time. We did. It was okay. I mean, and it was.
Oh, you
it
were
was
out in the
pretty
fresh air.
Yeah, I mean, we got to walk around a little bit, but both of us.
You
felt
didn't
so
buy
stupid at the
$24 popcorn, so you weren't at the
No.
movie.
But you know what? That's the main reason I want movie theaters to open up. I want me some movie theater popcorn.
Movie theater popcorn cannot be replaced.
Well, I mean,
I don't care
can't you?
don't even buy the tickets for the
Can't
movie.
you buy that at the store?
No.
Where it's got
It's not
extra
the
drippy
same.
butter on
It's
it.
not
More
the
Fake
cholesterol.
news.
Just go into the movie theater, tell them you just want to buy the popcorn, and leave. Don't even buy tickets for a movie. Don't see a movie. Just buy the
I'll
popcorn
go see
and leave.
a movie just for the heck of it. But fake news, yeah, that's fake news.
Fake
If it
news,
says movie theater popcorn
it's a lie.
at a store, it's fake
You can't
news.
get high cholesterol and increase your
So,
blood pressure with
do
that.
we know the
nonsense
secret
from Walmart.
formula for movie theater popcorn? I mean, is it regular
Lots
popcorn?
of butter and salt.
Is it Arnold?
And I'm not talking about like margarine. This is real butter,
Butter.
They put real butter on the
like
popcorn in the movie
Amish
theater?
churned butter,
Butter.
and some like real sea salt.
What
like,
theater
dump
have you
that.
been going to? You don't even go to theaters.
I go to Hillsboroughs and I'll go to Wilmingtons and
No, I don't go to a
Lebanon's.
theater anymore because I'm watching my waist.
Well, Wilmington's is not open
But-
yet.
Not yet. I've heard mid-July. Also, Roosters. The word on Roosters in Wilmington is July 20th.
So, was it a health department issue, a Department of Liquor Control issue? Obviously, there was
Liquor
some.
control. What liquor did they serve at the cinema?
No, we're talking about
Oh, I was
roosters
going
now.
to say, what's what
We've
liquor did
we've
they serve at the
zigged,
cinema?
we've
Bill?
zigged and zagged.
I think they were just more remodeling than anything at Roosters.
Well, I thought they were supposed to open June the 22nd, which is my birthday.
I
so.
think that's
I
when
think
they.
it said they were hiring.
Yeah, they were just putting it out that they're hiring.
Okay, all right.
Supposedly hiring people with benefits.
You know, it was weird. I saw an advertisement on Facebook
So
that they were
if
hiring.
you don't have benefits, you can't get hired there.
No, that's
Or they're
not-
giving you
they're
benefits.
Giving
They give you
benefits.
benefits.
I can imagine.
Anyway,
free
they
chicken
had
wings.
an advertisement on Facebook that they were hiring, and someone commented that, they're not very nice to black people in Wilmington, and so they won't be
Roosters?
looking for a job there.
Roosters.
I guess
How do
just
they know?
people in
They haven't been
Wilmington,
open.
because they went to Wilmington College. That people in Wilmington are not nice to black people, so they won't be seeking employment there.
No,
I don't see.
And I thought that was a very
No, wait a minute.
odd
You're
thing to
saying
put.
they went to Wilmington College.
That this person went to Wilmington College,
And
that
they
the
didn't like
residents
Wilmington,
of Wilmington
Ohio.
are not nice to black people, so they will not be seeking employment there.
You know what?
I thought that was the first comment on the thread out of like 200 comments, and I thought that was a very odd thing to write.
Ah.
I think that's a crock of crap.
Me too, because I have never seen anyone like seek out or be racist towards me or any other black person in Wilmington.
Well,
no offense.
you
but
don't
most people
actually
don't
look
at you
black.
that way. I'm black.
Yeah.
You look.
You're sort of olive.
See, look at that.
Yeah.
You just spend a lot of time in the sun. You just said you walked like 10 football fields in the sun. I run inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing. People are, I don't get it.
I'm European.
People are people. You know?
I'm actually European. But
you
anyway.
treat people the way you want to be treated. It's that simple.
But for real, I mean.
But people, you know, I don't care whether you're blue, white, green, black. There's a lot of bad white people. There's a lot of bad black people. There's a lot of good black people. There's a lot of good white people. It doesn't make any difference. It's an individual thing. You act like a fool, you get treated like a fool. You act like a cool person, we're going to treat you like a cool person.
That's me.
You're not going to end hate or no hate. You're not going to end hate with more hate. You're not going to end violence with more violence. That's what I don't understand about any of this.
I understand where they're coming from the police. Because me and my daughter right now, I'm struggling, like I said a few weeks ago, with her going to college and stuff. And she's been coming in late. She's got a boyfriend, which I don't really, the boyfriend seems okay. I don't have a problem.
What's his name?
Levi.
Levi.
And he
That's
seems,
a sketchy name.
It is. But he seems okay. But she keeps getting my name later. And I said, here's the thing, Crystal. You're going to get pulled over. You're going to get, well, I don't break the law. I said, it don't make any difference.
If you're out late?
2 o'clock, and this is the kind of way probably black people look at it. If you're out 2 o'clock in the morning, they're fishing.
Looking suspicious.
Well, you don't even have to look suspicious. They're fishing. They're fishing for drunks. And if you're out at that time,
they'll follow your car.
And here's the thing. Well, what if I don't do anything wrong? It don't make any difference. All they got to do is say you went a little left of center, or you hit the right line.
Or, there was a light out on your car.
Yeah, your license
well, I mean, when I had Samuel Walker's in Wilmington.
Your tail light's out, whatever. You're not going to know. Obviously, you can't see your tail light.
Yeah, I mean, the police, just naturally, they're hiding all over the place waiting for people to leave the bar.
Especially if you're out at bar closing time.
Yeah, you're going to see that.
Yep.
Now, I said, you need to start texting before you leave. I said, I really don't care how late you stay, but here's the thing,
You just want to know that she's
safe
and on the road, or she's coming home, or
Because she could be out.
So now, has she already started Wilmington College? Is she doing some online stuff?
Online, because she got some free, quote unquote, free
summer classes, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And now she's doing.
But now Southern State, they closed their Wilmington campus, and they're supposed to be doing
at Wilmington College.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So I wonder what they're going to do with the building. That's a nice building that Southern State has in Wilmington.
Probably make it to COVID-19 operations.
I was going to say, is any maybe extra jail space or something, since the jail's right across the street?
Todd Blocker. All the leftover wings you can eat for the benefit.
That would be beneficial.
Andrew Heater, no more hero pay here at Kroger's, despite that COVID-19 is still here.
Well, and what was the hero pay? Was that like $2 an hour, something like that?
I don't know, but here's the thing: they deserved it. If you're on unemployment, you don't need an extra $600 a week to be on unemployment.
Well, that doesn't. Does that make any
I
sense?
mean,
okay, so the people that are working. A lot of them aren't getting any extra pay.
Expose themselves to the so-called virus.
Right, and they have to wear those masks all day long, and we already know what it did to heat wave. So
it did make him look prettier, though.
It did, yes, it did. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't understand how you don't want to compensate essential employees. Truck drivers, grocery store workers, nurses, etc. But you want to give extra money to people who got to be at home doing nothing. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it makes perfect sense. That's how government works. It's encouraging
so ridiculous. It's like mind-boggling to me. Like, I would understand maybe giving unemployed people the same amount of money they're already making, or maybe slightly less, because they're doing nothing.
If anybody out there knows where my stimulus money is, would you let me know?
But
still haven't gotten my stimulus.
You are going to give them even more money than they were getting before, and you're going to give people that have to work the same, and some of them you're even docking their hours.
They're actually talking. They're talking about a second stimulus, and I'm thinking we
still haven't gotten our first.
Yeah, if you haven't gotten your first, and does that mean you're not going?
I need a second stimulus.
Oh, I bet you do.
I do. I tell you what, man. This COVID's been hard on me financially.
Yeah, us too. We run a sports broadcasting company. There ain't no sports.
No, yeah.
Someone want to bring back some sports for us, and not NASCAR.
Todd Blocker says suspicious. A young girl driving a hearse at 2 a.m. She doesn't drive a hearse.
She has her own car now.
She drives a really cute little Chevy Spark.
She's quite the independent woman.
Heat Wave says you guys are something else.
Ain't that the truth?
Hey, Charlie made the comment about it making you look prettier.
Yeah. Well, after he didn't even say hi to me, he said, "Hi, Rick and Sydney." Oh, hi, Charlie. How you doing?
Yeah, he knows
We'll
where
give
his
you the brain
bread is
claw.
buttered.
We won't give you the brain claw. We'll give you the. Well, I can't say that.
That's probably on
But
the
I
list.
do have a guest that's ready to come on anytime. And
This is the one with the microwave.
yeah, she's
She can always bring her own microwave. I mean, they do like unplug from the wall, and she
Yeah,
can
but
like
if you got
bring
one
it,
out
put it
here.
in her trunk, like plug it in here.
Well, I mean, actually,
I'm just
you know,
saying-
hopefully here soon we'll start building the kitchen set.
I'm
Then it'll be a lot
throwing
easier
that
to,
out there.
to do the.
Well, I'm just saying,
saying-
she's willing to come out and cook us breakfast. She's
Like
a
I said, she
Tupperware
could
lady.
totally bring
Well,
a microwave. I'm not against her.
Joe
bringing her
Holdren
own.
he's promised that he's going to try to at least make one haul this week. See, the big items, because we're bringing so much of this stuff in the little Ford Escort.
We have a, no, we
or
don't
not the
have
Escort,
a Ford
the
Escort.
Focus. I'm thinking of my.
We have a Ford
Escort from
Focus,
years ago.
folks.
Doesn't your son have a truck?
He's
No.
buying one. He said that was the most. He's got a Jeep,
Oh.
but he's now looking at a truck. But
Dave Hurst got a dump truck. You could just throw it all in there.
well, just dump it on there. Then he could just
Yeah,
unload it
let's
right
just
there in the
put
front.
like our antique grandfather's
I'm
clock in a
kidding.
dump.
But anyway, we've got I would say at least because he also has a trailer that he's borrowing from a common friend of ours. So I would say at least 2 loads, possibly 3 of the big items, because most of the little items we've gotten them.
But we have a lot of
moved
large
up here.
antique furniture that we cannot move in the Ford Focus, hence
Right.
why it's not here yet.
Right.
I understand.
So once that happens, then we can.
But some of the even smaller pieces, such as my microwave, I haven't moved here because I still need it at the house.
Right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Well, you guys ought to have one up here anyhow. You got everything
we've got
else.
the toaster oven
Yeah.
and whatnot,
Well,
so
you
I
know,
warm stuff up in
it,
there.
I'll tell her that you got a toaster.
I got a
oven.
toaster oven.
Maybe.
It's like
Well,
it's
that'd
got
probably
a,
burn her. I'd probably
yeah,
burn a
yeah,
Tupperware.
yeah. You probably don't want to put
Well,
Tupperware in it.
we've got a microwave and a convection oven as well that we'll be bringing, and
It's just obviously not
you know,
here yet.
once.
so.
But that's the problem. The problem right now is we're sort of in between because we're still at home and all our bedroom furniture, all our kitchen stuff,
So
all
you guys
that.
haven't stayed a night here yet.
No.
No. But and we've got the washer and dryer to move, and
The shower doesn't work here yet.
other
'cause
things.
The hot water heater is not here yet.
Well, you can go across the street, take a shower.
And that's what we have
Yeah, I'm
contemplated,
really excited
you know,
about
with
showering
a
at a
truck
truck
stop
stop.
shower, you know, but also even as far as
When I
doing
could
clothes.
shower at my house.
Well, hopefully, Cowboy Joe does go to work, so just get him on it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I may need some help from the services of Dave Hurst. So if you're listening,
yeah. Well, I mean, as far
Yeah,
as
same here, Dave. My electric's still out on one wall in my kitchen there, brother.
he
don't
does
forget me.
plumbing and electric, right?
He can do it all, yeah. He'll
can
tell
always
you.
get
He's
some
a- he's a
advertising
man of
services on
many-
WZAA 106.9 LPFM in
He-
Jeffersonville.
he's a man of
Ohio.
many
Yep.
hats. Yeah.
Well, I do have to ask something here because I don't know. And I don't know if you guys have seen it, and maybe I've just been ignorant to the fact. But weren't we supposed to have like a dust storm or something?
The Saharan dust storm
What
or
happened to
something.
that?
I don't
Well, it was
know.
south of here. I think that it affected southern states
I
and.
thought it was supposed to reach up here.
Well,
Am I wrong? I mean, I could be
But
wrong.
I mean, when I lived in Texas and when I lived in Arizona, we would occasionally have these dust storms. They weren't coming from the Sahara, but literally it would block the sun out almost, and you'd get this red, thick dust, and obviously it would pummel your car. But I mean, it happened, a couple times a year, usually in both Texas and Arizona. So I'm sure they get
I
it
mean,
in the Southwest all the time.
I've also experienced dust storms living, in New Mexico and Texas,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they ever really got the Saharan dust storm because we heard about
Well,
the dust storm.
is it
and then-
actually Saharan dust?
But then we never really heard any follow up. Like, did they get the dust storm? Like, I feel like I have a lot of friends that still live in Florida and stuff. I never heard any Facebook posts like, yeah, the dust storm rolled through. It completely covered my car. It was terrible. Like, I feel like there would have been a lot of posts complaining about the dust storm.
Maybe it hasn't
because they
gotten
never
here
would
yet.
have been in a dust storm before, so they would have complained about it way more than people that live.
So you think people in Florida have never been in a dust storm?
Danny Boys was
Snowstorm?
watching. The Todd Blocker
Probably
says the
not.
Hornets kept the dust storm away.
They may have been like, oh, this time is not convenient for you. We'll come back later.
Yeah,
Like the
make
murder
it
Hornets,
like
they took
November
the
3rd.
dust
Let's
You
have a
know
big
when the
dust.
murder Hornets are going to come? October 31st.
They're like, we'll
November
come back at a
1st.
time that's more convenient for you.
No, they'll come right before the election. That's all. Let's see. What else I have on with it? Oh, I'm just going to throw this out there, and I'm not going to get into it too big. But those of you who have Netflix and are kind of like into conspiracy theory stuff, there's a really interesting like documentary called The Family on Netflix. And
What's it about?
It's about this Coe guy, Doug Coe, who was a head religious person in Washington. He would draft all these young people to work for him, but he would draft senators and House of Representative members. And one thing was interesting in this series, it was all kind of like based on the prayer breakfast and how much you can get done politically through prayer breakfasts, and also getting these prayer breakfasts set up all over the world and changing things. And it's just real manipulative, real interesting. And it was kind of interesting because there was 3 congressmen that I recognized that was on this show.
Yeah.
And I've met all 3 of them, Bob McEwen, Tony Hall, and Mike Turner.
Well, isn't McEwen
He's
from the
retired.
Centerville area?
Yeah, he's retired.
Yeah, he used to be like mayor of Centerville and, back in the day.
Yeah, but Tony Hall was a Dayton representative. Of course, Mike Turner's still in the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
But they talked about how it started out where it's like this little fraternal group, and they have their own Bible. I mean, it's all stuff from the Bible, but
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
It just says Jesus on it, and just all the part of it. They don't talk about. They talk about how you need to bring Jesus to the leaders of the world, kings of the world, kind of like I think David, or was it David or Paul? Paul did that, and that's kind of the premise of this. And it was interesting how they. They got in to see some real evil people and tried to change some of their hearts and stuff. But it was one guy got in
You mean
trouble.
like Hillary?
Gaddafi.
Oh.
Gaddafi.
Well, they took care of him,
And
didn't they?
They also there's a country in Africa. I think it may have been Uganda, where they are really against homosexuals.
Well, let's see.
really
Who was it?
against homosexuals.
Wasn't it Idi Amin that used to be the?
Was he Uganda?
Yeah, he was the one that was pretty ruthless.
And they talked about how they tried to get Romania's laws to where you couldn't have gay marriages, but then they got beat and that. But it just showed how this guy through Washington, he had met every president from Eisenhower to Trump. He just died a couple years ago, this Doug Coe, and it still goes on. They work out of this little branch that was in Washington, D.C., Georgetown area. And, remember the guy that was the governor of South Carolina, he was a member of it, that got caught cheating on his wife, was missing for several days, and come back and owned up to, what he did.
So
Mark something, I can't think of his last name.
yeah, I know who you're talking about.
It's a real interesting show.
Last name starts with an S, I think.
Yeah, it's a real interesting show. If you're
Sanford,
into-
Mark Sanford, something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real interesting
Gotta get
show
my hair
if you're
fixed.
into that kind of stuff, conspiracy stuff. It's called The Family, and it's on
Netflix.
Netflix, yeah,
Yeah.
Netflix.
Isn't that the same network that Obama's on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they ran the Epstein show too on there. And that Epstein show, I'd highly recommend people to watch if you don't understand why Jeffrey Epstein was such a figure in today's world, because
The people
it's-
that he influenced and that he had information on, and
it's really kind of like the good and the evil. Really, there's not a whole
I
lot
think
of difference between Coe and Epstein, other than
he's
one
probably
was going through religious and
Well, you wonder about you wonder about some people in government. Let's take John Roberts as an example. We know that he was appointed by George Bush, and we know that the Bushes were not really conservative. They were at best, we'll call them in the middle of the road, but probably lean more left. And you can see that now that he's out of office. But his father was CIA head, and when you look at the Bushes going all the way back, they weren't really what you would consider real conservative people. And I think that the John Roberts thing, it seems like we expected that he was going to be a conservative Chief Justice, but he has sided with the liberals in some of these recent cases, especially the important ones. It's kind of like, he might go along with the conservatives to appear to be conservative in the less important decisions that the court makes. But when it comes to all these important decisions, like this latest one with Louisiana and abortion, he sided with the liberals. And so I'm thinking, is it because he's really a rhino, or is it because Jeffrey had some information on him and the Democrats have it and they're pulling that card every so often to make sure that he votes the way they want him to vote? Because a lot of these people, you think, just like Sessions, he recused himself so quickly. Was he really deep state, or was he? Did they have something?
Works for Obama too.
Well, and that's the problem. The problem is, and Kami Kim has said this so many times. The left or the right, they're both wings from the same bird, and that's the problem that we don't realize, that. It's really more a uni party. There isn't really, they all believe in big government, and they all believe in government controlling everything. And so whether you're left or you're right, there aren't people that believe, when you're in the D.C. area, that believe in just freedom. They want to inject themselves.
Technically, they have to do what they have to do to get elected.
Well, that's the other problem. The other problem is they're constantly campaigning. It's like, especially when
they have to do what they have to do to keep the job.
This is a bad reason for congressmen being elected every 2 years.
Oh,
well, yes,
I agree.
you can get rid of them in 2 years if they don't work out.
I'd say they all go to 4-year terms.
But
limit them like 3-4-year terms. That's it.
Yeah, and we definitely want term limits, but that'll never happen if they're going to vote themselves term limits, because they're not going to control themselves.
Yeah, that you have to have the convention of the states.
Right.
Dave Hiles and I was talking about that the other day. He says, "Why don't we do that? Everybody, you talk to anybody, they all want term limits."
I think that both sides are sort of afraid that if they had a convention of the states, somehow it would get out of hand, and there'd be things in the Constitution that we wouldn't want changed that would be changed, like the Second Amendment, or that the other side would somehow. And we see this all the time, like with Nancy Pelosi, where they'll pass this bill, and it's and I don't think that it's because Republicans are. I've got a phone call coming in.
Well, we have these, regardless of what position they hold, career politicians.
Right.
That, for example, Nancy Pelosi, who has been in politics and in government for practically her entire life, for like 40+ years. And what has she accomplished?
She's 80 years old.
Bill Raybeck, if you're
nothing.
out there, we're doing a show.
The same thing can be said for Joe Biden. I mean, he's been in office in different positions for like 40+ years.
These are the same people that are blaming everything that's wrong on Trump, who's only been there for 3.5, 4 years, and so they're blaming Trump for all this. And they're the ones that have been encamped in Washington, D.C. for decades. It's just like, why didn't you fix these things, years ago?
Right. Well, because they didn't care.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the same thing with, why didn't we improve relations between the races the 8 years that we had our first black president? Well, obviously it wasn't something that was on the top of his list. And a lot of black people will admit that. Obama did very little to help advance.
So who's going to do better? Somebody was arguing with me yesterday about this, and Who's going to do better with the black vote? Is it going to be Joe Biden or is it going to be Donald Trump? What do you think?
Well, people have short memories. So with COVID, all the things that have happened since the economy was great and now, has gone in the tank. And that was that was part of the reason for shutting everything down, was to tank the economy. I would say that it'll probably be close, because I think that Trump's, he's like at 30% with the black vote. But I still think that Biden, will probably get more of the black vote than
even
Trump.
After some of his comments he made. Granted,
I know.
back in the 70s.
Well, I mean,
with
but
the
once again,
segregation
they
of
pull
schools.
these racist comments, 50 years ago, and say, you made this comment, so now they fire people, or they let them go, whatever.
Oh, I know, and he made worse comments back in the 70s.
Flat out.
Let's get him to be the president.
Yeah, flat out racist comments. But, once again, it's like, certain parts of certain segments of the population are programmed the same way young people today are programmed. I mean, why do you think that these young people that are, college educated or in college currently hate America so much? It's because professors in our universities and colleges are teaching them that. They're being indoctrinated with that. And so, they think that America is a terrible place because they've been raised and told, when they go to school, that America has been this terrible racist place. And so that's their confirmation. They don't realize that they have been indoctrinated, but you can talk to a lot of young people. I'm not saying all young people are that way, but you can talk to a lot of young people that are college age or just graduated from college. The difference is, if you talk about millennials, who basically, most of them, they're out of college. We're talking Gen Z now, I guess. But millennials, they're now into the mainstream. They have kids. They have responsibilities. They have houses that they, have to pay for. They've changed. Once you actually have responsibility,
Sure.
and you're responsible for another human being, that you're trying to raise. And that's not saying that they suddenly turn into racists. It's just saying that they obviously realize that
a lot of are idealistic, and they start out like
we're all that
Democrats.
way when we're young.
Yeah, when you're young. Then when you get older, then you realize, maybe this isn't the right way.
It's like when you're younger, you're a little more naive, and you have this idea that, like, oh yeah, we can help everybody, and everything should be free, and like, wouldn't it be so nice if like everything was free and
everything should be
everybody
equal,
should be rainbows and butterflies? But then you like
smarter.
realize that like.
Yeah. Well,
that's not realistic, and we have to pay for things at some point. And like, who's going to pay for them? I don't want to pay for stuff that I don't work for, that other people don't work for. Like, why should I have to pay for stuff when you don't have to work to earn the things that you get,
even students in college, when asked if they would share their grades with people that weren't, they wouldn't do it.
No.
So I mean,
like, let's do a group project. I'll do all the work, and you get the same grade. Like,
Sounds
wait,
good.
that's not fair. What the heck?
Good.
Like,
yeah. So
Sarah Catherine says, what'd she say? I feel like you guys are looking down on us because of where the camera is set at. Yes, we are looking down here because
the camera's lower than us.
We want this hierarchy that you have to look up.
that's of course.
We are the kings and queens.
You are watching on Facebook Live now. On our YouTube channel, our camera is up higher.
The camera.
more even.
You guys wanted the camera to be. The Facebook Live camera to be
To
closer
be close.
to us.
So you could hear us.
So we had to put it on a chair, but the chair is shorter than the table.
What we
can't
really
set it
what
up
we
on the
need to do is
table.
be able to
We don't have a
do
table
multiple streams
that's
so that
high
we can use the main camera, and then you get a better view of everything from the main camera.
This is okay. We could have raised up a little bit. You just got to be careful because we don't want to. Where we have the Facebook camera set up, which is my phone.
We don't want it to be in front of the
It
actual
could be
camera.
in front of the
YouTube
other camera. Because if you like our vantage point right now, we're looking at a chair with a phone, but then right above the chair is another TV. With
We have a
Yeah,
monitor
our
where
monitor,
we can see
so we can see
ourselves.
ourselves.
Oh, you guys can't see that, so.
That's why I'm fixing my hair.
That's why I adjust my cap every once in a while.
So sometimes it may look like we're not even looking at you because most of the time we're probably not looking at you.
Yeah. And we don't want you to get paranoid like we're looking at you.
Yeah, Sarah Catherine hasn't been here for a while, so the studio has changed quite a bit since she was on the air with us.
Yeah, she came out a couple times, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yep.
She was on the morning show 2 or 3 times.
Jerry.
Yeah.
We need to get Jerry back out here sometime. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Well, Jerry had he had seen Bill Raybeck a few times and had said that he was hoping that we'd restart the morning show, and he always enjoyed it. He's always
Jerry.
funny too.
I just
Jerry's
texted
great.
Bill and told him we were doing the zoo, so he'd stop calling.
Okay. Well.
That doesn't mean he'll stop calling.
He left a
but
message. I don't know what the message
I
is.
let him know we're on the zoo.
We're just part of his world. It's all about him.
Well,
we
Bill-
just
We're
circle-
just living in it.
Bill,
we just circle Bill Raybeck.
This is his universe.
yeah, Bill.
We're just orbiting.
He usually checks in. He's got all that breaking news. It's either something sports, even though there's no sports going on, or
he'll
he might
call
have been
about sports
updating us
Baseball starting.
on the COVID. It's not going to start.
Baseball starting. Basketball starting.
But I mean, like, do you need to call me at 8 a.m. to
So
tell
what
me
what
about
happens,
it?
Charlie, when they spike and all these baseball players become COVID active? They're going to have to shut the whole team down. So
I don't know.
how do you have a schedule?
How did we
it's like
have
we just lost the Arizona
all of these
Diamondbacks.
NBA players with AIDS before, but we didn't shut the teams down? But that's none of my business.
I don't know.
Well, they didn't all have AIDS.
A lot of them did,
Earl Martin.
and they were still getting it in, but that's none of my business.
Sarah Catherine's waiting for an invite to come back.
Hey, she has an open invitation.
There you
It's
go.
kind of
Open
like
invitation.
when you were going to come to the coffee shop. Didn't happen.
Awkward.
Did somebody stand you up, Rick?
Well, no, I'm saying because Sydney and I had
She was
invited
supposed
her
to meet us there
to the
and
coffee
then
shop.
She didn't come.
So anyway,
No
but
call?
we haven't
No
gone
call,
to
no show.
we
No.
now.
But it's
I think
okay, it's all
the
good.
Kava House now has seating. You can go in and sit down, and they've actually opened up part of their house to keep you socially distanced.
Which is kind of cool because, like, their house is,
Used to
a
be
neat
a
place. It's
funeral
that,
home.
like, antique building.
Yeah. So I guess if you
And I think they still have that deck seating outside with the,
I
like,
think they do.
wraparound porch they
yeah,
have.
so they're out on the porch.
They
and-
didn't used to have that.
Right.
So they
Sarah-
added it because of the COVID. They had to seat people
Sarah
outside.
Catherine says, I work third shift. That's why I didn't make it.
Third shift, huh?
That's why she didn't make it to your coffee house. Or
So
whatever it
third
was.
shift is now she
It's like
working.
midnight to 8, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So
I mean-
is she working? What is she working now? What is she doing?
Which corner?
Can you say that? Charlie.
I'm
You
teasing
shouldn't say
Sarah
that to
Catherine.
people, especially on the radio.
I'm teasing Sarah Catherine.
Third shift.
Is it third and Main still? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, she's going to answer you now, Charlie.
She'll answer me. She knows I'm just teasing. She said I had good intentions. Well, when you're working them late hours, especially at night.
But where
on
is
the
she
corner.
working? What do you do
I said
on
third
third
and
shift?
Main. I don't know where she's working.
Yeah.
She can hear us. Answer. Where you working, Sarah Catherine?
Yeah. So, I mean,
I work at Lynn Golf Clinic in Greenfield.
golf clinic?
That's on the corner of Third and Main. There you go. That's what I said.
The golf clinic?
Golf. Goff. Lynn Golf Clinic.
Oh, it's a clinic.
I think it's for wayward women.
Okay. All right. Well, there's
really do.
a lot
I
of them in Greenfield.
I think it's for like, I think it might be for ladies that are trying like a rehab.
Oh,
place,
okay.
I
All right.
think.
Well,
I may be wrong though.
That's a-
this is what
I'm sure she'll
guessing.
correct you if you're wrong.
Well, but I think there's there's a couple of those I believe in the Greenfield area because I used to see troops of women walking around all the time.
troops?
I mean, yeah, seriously, it'd be like 8 or 9.
So what would they be doing? Just walking?
I don't know. I was afraid I
Okay.
was going to get like, I was afraid I was going to get like
I'm sure
burglarized
they
or
were
something,
just
so I
like
went the
going
other
to
way.
AA meetings or something. But
Well,
Charlie's over
we-
here acting like he's going to get jumped.
We were talking with a lady yesterday that we sold a couple pieces of furniture to, and she used to be, what was she? Some kind of a government worker in Greenfield.
She used to like help sell cemetery plots?
No, she ran. No, she helped run the cemetery.
So I don't know what you're
But she
talking
also
about.
did all kinds of records, like maybe she worked in the auditor's office or something. I don't know, but
Sounds like she might be like a township clerk.
she worked.
Yes,
She worked at the police
something like
department,
that.
and that. We asked her if she knew you. She said no. Just
But she knew
your record. She didn't.
records person when you were the mayor. Like your
Barb Scranton.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, she said she had talked with you.
Yeah, it's a clinic for women that battle addiction.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So do you work there or you just go there?
She works there,
She
Charlie.
works there, you dingle dong.
I'm just messing.
Yeah.
She
Let me
wouldn't
have a
just
little
go there
fun.
during third shift. Oh no, she only has a problem during third shift.
Let me have fun. Let me have a little fun here.
I only got a problem during third shift.
Charlie's bored, so he's got
I'm
to
trying
create
to-
some
I'm
excitement.
trying to pick at Sarah Catherine a little bit, see if she'll pick back. Which I know,
I'm good the rest of the day. I only got an issue during third shift.
I know she'll pick back. That's the only reason I'm picking to begin with. Here we go. No, Bill Clark was watching. Here we go. Now watch, she won't pick back since I said that. But anyhow, let's see what else have I got down here on my list. You know what? We've covered all my list except one thing.
All right, what is
This
it?
must be the best. You
Hit
saved
me
it
with
for
your best
last.
shot.
States are starting to close down. Texas, what is it? Texas, California,
Well,
Florida.
they haven't. Well, yeah. I guess
They're
for
starting to
instance,
close
they've closed some beaches just in time for the 4th of July, right?
Well, Florida has closed their bars, but they have not stopped. They are encouraging restaurants to sell alcohol instead.
Okay. So
What
in other
makes
words,
the difference?
you can go into a restaurant, you can sit there, and you can
drink
eat
all
food
the
and drink all
alcohol
you want. But
you don't even have
can't
to order
go to
food.
a bar where
don't
all
even
you're
have to
doing
order
is drinking,
food.
right?
You don't even have to order
Well,
food.
that's true.
You
You
can just
wouldn't
sit
have
there
to.
and get drunk like you were at a bar.
Okay. So what's the sense of that?
I don't know, but I guess apparently they are worried that the proximity in bars is too close
Because maybe bars lead to more.
to more
Closer.
close.
You mean like you're mingling?
interactions, The mingling.
Like singles place or something like that? Okay.
Versus bound chicken wow wow. Versus at a restaurant you gotta like sit at a table and like pretend to order appetizers or something.
So, but everybody at the table would obviously have to know each other because you couldn't be socially
Well,
distanced at a table.
I don't know what restaurants you go to.
Well, I mean,
you
you
don't
know,
have to know each other. You could be like, "Hey,
we
what up?
we
You
have
ordered
not
White
we've
Claws,
not
I
been at
ordered
B
White
Dubs,
Claws."
but from what I understand, we talked with the I guess he worked in the kitchen, but he said that B Dubs was open and that seating is normal. They
That's
haven't.
kind of the way Generations is right now.
I think that's
Yeah,
probably how most
haven't
restaurants
changed,
are.
They haven't changed the seating at all. They haven't put in any plexiglass to protect. Of course, I think B Dubs has those real high booths anyway, so you probably don't have any problem there. But
I imagine that's how most quote unquote chain restaurants are set up.
yeah, well, I mean, we know McDonald's. You can't
Can't
eat
go in
there.
McDonald's.
Okay.
Can't go in
Well, you,
Wendy's,
Well,
you
you
can go
can
in
go
to
in to
order.
order
You just
takeout.
you
You
just
can't
can't
sit in
sit
there.
there.
Can't go into Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, like fast food restaurants, why do you need to sit in them anyway?
Well, if you're
Why?
old, sometimes
It's
you
not
might want to
for
sit there and
fast
drink
food
your.
restaurants, It's for the collegiality of your friends. You're meeting, and
Yeah.
maybe you want to eat cheap. It's like every Tuesday night we were eating at Kentucky Fried Chicken just because it was reasonable, and it was just a fun place to meet.
KFC is reasonable?
Plus you
I
go,
was gonna say KFC's like
it might be
overpriced fast
reasonable.
food.
It might be reasonable compared to.
Tuesday nights, Country Fried Steak Special, $2.99.
Oh, okay.
Plus, if
okay.
you're a senior, Rick,
Oh,
free drink.
who's a senior? A free drink?
Yeah.
Well, like
Anytime
Jack
you go-
Daniels?
Anytime you go to KFC,
You
get a
don't
free
drink
drink.
alcohol.
Same
Well,
way with Wendy's.
I would.
Wendy's is a free senior
No, you
drink.
won't.
We have some comments on here. Let's
Oh,
see.
okay. Well, let's hear the comments.
Heatwave says, I'll be the first person to admit I have a gambling addiction problem and getting great help from the Pickaway Area Recovery.
Oh, we saw that. That's
And,
good.
Congratulations.
What's your pick 3 numbers tonight, Heatwave? No,
Shut up.
Charlie, you are-
Jesus. You're
Charlie-
such an instigator.
Yeah.
I go on vacation. This is Sarah Catherine. I go on vacation on 7/11, and I have to take 2 weeks off after my week off. It's mandatory because of COVID. So it will be without pay, which I'm pretty sure is illegal. Oh, is that illegal?
I don't think
with
that's probably
COVID,
illegal.
everything's legal.
Yeah, you mean to go
Anyway,
on vacation
I sure
without
can
pay?
meet up during my time off. Well, that would be wonderful. Come
All
on
right,
in.
right, yeah, we'll be
Michelle
here.
Scott is watching, and Joyce Taylor is watching. Heat wave, I'm just kidding on the pick 3.
Well, I'll ask you off the
Should
air
be the
where
pick
you're going
6.
on vacation.
A lot more money that
'cause
way.
Don't go anywhere dangerous and then
Yes, sir.
come hang
Catherine,
out with me.
Well, I've got a little quandary here.
I have an autoimmune deficiency.
A
Don't
quandary?
give me COVID.
Yeah, let me
Thanks.
get,
All right, let's
let me
hear your
get guys'
quandary.
opinion here on what I should do.
Is that a problem? Is that a little problem you're talking about?
It's not really a problem. It's more of a situation.
A situation.
Hey, so here's the deal. August 8th, I have to DJ a wedding.
Okay.
No, wait a minute. What's that?
August 8th, I have to DJ a wedding.
Oh, you have to DJ Is this the one that you're not sure that you have to DJ yet?
No, I have to DJ that.
It's a
Okay, so this one
wedding.
you know you have to.
That was July 4th.
July 4th, I'm still up in the air about. But August 8th, the wedding is in Syracuse, New York.
All right.
Well, that's relatives, isn't
Well,
it?
it's not I have relatives up there, but this is not a relative I'm DJing a wedding for.
It's friends of
He's
relatives.
he's just a friend. He's a friend of mine.
All right.
All right.
And but here's what I'm getting at. Okay, right now, supposedly, if you're from Florida, Texas, or California, you're not supposed to go to New York. They don't want you coming into New York.
You're not from Florida, Texas, or California.
I know, but it's not August 8th yet either. And right now,
No, wait a minute. What?
They're having
He lost me.
They could have up to 100 people right
Okay.
now. No, up to 50 people, and he thinks by August 8th they can have up to 100 people. I'm just wondering. I mean, here's my dilemma. I want to go do it, obviously, because
You want the
money.
money.
The guy's a friend of mine. Plus,
The money.
But no steak.
I'll make a little money. I ain't making a killing.
That's on July
I know. No
4th.
steak on this one.
He's acting more like
It's
Joe
a wedding.
Biden.
Probably
I'm
rubber
sure he'll
chicken.
get
Rubber
steak.
chicken.
But
Anyway.
here's what I'm getting at.
All right. What are you getting at, Charlie?
I'm worried that Cuomo and all his great authoritarianism
He is a brilliant
will
man.
change things where
You'll have to be quarantined.
August 1st, maybe it won't even be allowed to go in.
Well, then that'll answer your question. You won't
but-
have to worry.
But then I feel bad then because I'm supposed to be doing this for this guy.
Well, he
You see
probably
what I
won't be
mean?
able to have the wedding anyway.
Well,
They'll have
that's
to postpone
probably
it.
true.
What I would do is wait till it gets closer to even worry about it because
Yeah.
it's too far into the future. It's like a month away.
I mean, we're having
It's over a month away. Like you can't.
We're
So,
still
I mean,
having
it's scheduled right now. We don't
As
know
of
that
right now, it's
anything
not
will
canceled.
change. But
Can't-
the other thing is, how
It's
does
just kind of weird.
We
How
could
do you-
ask my magic 8 ball.
Well, how do you do
But
the-
usually it
well,
just
but-
says I cannot predict the future.
I would-
I got
Ask
a
again
pendulum I
later.
can ask.
I was reading about this quarantine from these various states. Okay, so let's say that I'm from Texas and I have something planned for New York. You've got to first self-quarantine for 14 days once you get there, right?
Supposedly.
Okay, so
See, that's another thing.
so
see?
how does that work? So you have to go 2 weeks early in order to make sure that you're available for the day that you're supposed to go to your meeting or you're supposed to do your
Which
wedding.
I obviously am not.
How in
I'm
the
gonna go a
world-
day
He's
early.
not from one of the 3 states.
That's
that
not what
they're
I'm
allowed.
saying. What I'm saying is, how does it work that you can self-quarantine for 14 days once you get to
Well,
New
how
York?
do they know that he's self-quarantining or not self-quarantining?
I don't know. I mean, did
I
they
mean,
put
they
one
That's
of
don't
the
those?
other
like they don't
thing.
like.
Did they put one of
a
those little
tracker
bands
on you.
on
They
you?
don't make you stay in a hospital or anything. So, like, how do they know you are or are not doing
And
it?
that's another thing I'm thinking. Well, should I go the New York
You
State
could just like
way, or should I go
say
other ways?
you're doing it.
Is there
no
a different
one
way?
will
Like
know,
back
and he'll be
roads?
gone before they could even find out he didn't do it in the first place.
Is there a back?
'Cause
Could you
you're
go?
gonna, like,
Could you go through
go,
Canada and come back down?
Stay the night, right?
Come across
and
the
then, like,
Great
come
Lakes?
back the next day, probably, or like.
I'm
2
trying to
days
help you
later.
out here, Charlie. You're
I'm
not
not
listening.
going to Canada. That's way out of the way.
Well, I mean,
Plus, I don't have
okay.
a passport.
You want to borrow mine?
Yeah,
One of them?
well, it wouldn't
Just
work.
give it-
I like
you want
it.
to borrow one of mine?
Hello, my name's Sidney Phillips.
Wouldn't work.
No, that's not what my last name is on my passport. On either of them, but
So, what's the last name on your passport?
it doesn't. It's irrelevant.
Hello, my name's Sidney Irrelevant.
Yes, that
And
is
I'll be coming
very
to New
impressive
York.
name. Wealthy family that she's from.
Amy Gordon is
Irrelevance.
watching. Sarah Catherine answered your question via Messenger.
Oh, this is like a personal thing. So
So tell us, where's Sarah Catherine going?
Okay, we're all good.
That would
All
defeat
right.
the purpose, wouldn't it?
I don't have my glasses, so I can't
No,
see.
she's all good to come in.
I think I saw it, but I won't
She's
say.
coming in July.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sometime in
All
July.
right. Well, you know, if you come in, you have to self-quarantine for 14 days before you get here.
That's
No,
right.
she doesn't have to self-quarantine.
Sorry, sir, Catherine. Sorry. No. Oh,
I just needed to make
wait a
sure
minute.
she's not going to some crazy ass,
I do have another topic.
Oh, okay.
I forgot to write it down.
Okay, well, that's all right.
Last
You're old.
Saturday, I went to the Cedar Creek Flea Market in the evening.
Did you watch Garth?
Watch Garth Brooks.
Did it
And
rain?
How did that go?
It did not rain.
Did
It
not
was
rain.
excellent. They had 3 screens. The one in the middle,
Were those inflatable screens?
2 were inflatable, but the one in the middle was 3 floors high and probably 3 floors or 4 floors wide.
So it was like 30 by 40?
Yeah, it was huge. And I tell you what, I thought, well, at $100 a carload, before I got there, I thought, well, if there's 100, 150 cars there, that'll be good. 500 cars there.
They made a lot of money.
500 cars. And I'll tell you what, it was good. It wasn't live like he was doing it right then. He'd recorded it.
So it had been recorded.
Within the last probably week, because he was talking about some of the relevant issues of the day, non-specifically, but generically. And it was good. I mean, it was good. It showed highlights a little bit from some of his, like at the end of songs, a lot of times it would show how the songs ended, like in different venues across the United States. And that was neat. But no, I mean, it was good. People enjoyed it. People were singing. It was like the closest thing you can get to a concert. But I found also Cedar Creek is looking at getting several more concerts like that out there this summer.
Putting in permanent screens?
And possibly a permanent screen, out there. So that would be cool, actually.
So it's like we're going full circle. We're going back to the old drive-ins.
Yep. Well,
because of COVID.
I tell you what, it was a good time. It was funny because we didn't get there real early. We got there like maybe 45 minutes before it started, and they hadn't put up the 3rd screen yet. And we just pulled right up.
So was there someone blowing into the screen?
They were putting
trying to put it up.
They had this machine blowing.
Oh, they had a machine. Well, that's
anyhow. Where we parked at, the screen was right in front of us.
Ah,
so it was like
perfect.
So we got out and got our lawn chairs out, and a lot of.
So now, did they have food?
Pop.
Were they selling food?
They were selling food. They were selling. Some of the vendors were set up outside.
Right. So.
We had 8 generations before we went there, and we because we had to have a certain waitress wait on us,
Yeah. Plus you got all those coupons that you redeem.
In case you guys don't know, my daughter is working at Generations. Go in there and harass her, please. Okay.
Tip her.
Tip her well, but you can have fun, harass her.
Oh, by the way, I need to talk to you about her after this.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, about her wisdom teeth.
Her what?
Oh.
Her wisdom
No, I
teeth.
think I have a free way to get them taken out.
Oh, really?
A freeway. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my pliers over here.
Not in a painful and creepy way.
Well, it could be creepy, but it wouldn't be painful because we'd give her
anyway
anesthesia
under medical insurance.
Oh, okay. Well, I take all insurance.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, not any of that.
I figured that out already.
I need the practice. I need the practice. Haven't pulled any teeth lately.
If you want weird and creepy, though, if you're into that kind of stuff, watch The Order on Netflix. My goodness.
Obviously, Charlie, you've had a lot of television watching.
Well, I can't help you. You're limited on what you can do. And plus, I hate these weathermen because what was the forecast for Sunday?
I don't know.
Sunny?
I only check it the day of
The forecast
because
for
I
Sunday.
can't watch the week before. It will
Charlie,
it
are you
lies.
just
The
realizing
forecast
after
for Sunday was rain all day long. So I thought, well, I'm just going to have a Netflix kind of day, which I did.
So
anyhow.
did you have something scheduled that you canceled?
No, but it's just the idea. Saturday, it's supposed to rain all day, so that kind of hurt my car show attendance.
Right.
Which we did have 50, but if people knew what the weather was going to do, we'd have had 100. There's no doubt in my mind.
Right.
And it rained. It did rain on a Saturday for like a half hour, and that was it. But Sunday, they're calling washout. Rain all day, and didn't rain at all.
So now, when you because there's a difference between a car show
And a cruise.
and a cruise-in. A cruise-in, they don't pay anything to cruise
just
in.
come and eat and stay as long as you want.
Right. Okay.
Car show, you have giveaway door prizes.
But there's a
trophies.
fee usually.
Yeah, usually it's mine. Like ours for last Saturday, if you're a veteran or anything to do with the military, it was only $5.
Oh, okay.
And
What if you
$10,
weren't?
$10.
Okay. All right.
And
What
like
if you
I
didn't
said,
have a car?
You can still donate. If you didn't have a car, it's free.
Oh,
Just
okay.
walk around. But you could get into 50-50 if you wanted. You could buy. We had couple vendors set up, so it was an activity to do. And we had wagon wheel concessions there, and they did a great job. They were real good. Let's see.
Paisley's getting on the screen.
Paisley, our
Paisley?
dog, has decided to say,
Join us?
Join
"Chicken
the show."
entrance."
Yeah.
Hi, Pie.
I don't know if they can see her or not.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
that-
they see her.
You
You
can
can
see
see
her
the
on the
top of
main
your head, I
screen.
guess.
Yeah, I can't see her
I
on,
don't
I
like
don't
when
think
you
they
see
can
her
see
on
on
Facebook.
Facebook Live,
but they can see her on YouTube.
Get your feet
Hi,
up here,
Paisley.
Paisley. Come
Yeah.
here, Paisley.
She's got a gray beard.
Can you put your head up
I
here,
don't know.
Paisley?
You gonna say hello?
Come on.
You gonna be famous dog? You gonna be studio dog?
Come on.
Say hi.
There, you might see his nose. See her nose popping
Say
up.
hi.
Come on up here.
No.
Nope.
All
She
right.
likes petted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She likes licking
affection.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's taking her this long to come over. Yeah, last week she was right on me.
Well, sometimes she's lazy.
She's
She
emotional.
just lays on
and
the cold
she's very
floor.
chonky.
Chonky meaning she's
God does control the weather heat wave, but the stupid weatherman that forecasts it, they have ruined so many events that I've tried to put on.
But you can't
It's like
believe
they
the
wish they
weathermen.
shit.
I mean,
Well,
they're wrong
But
most of the
all
time.
these car guys, though, because
I
we
know,
can't get our car
yeah.
wet,
That
you know.
well, I mean, I understand if you've got $50,000 or $20,000 or $80,000 in a car, you want to make sure that if you're going to take it out, it's not going to, get hailed on or.
Right. I mean, yeah, if it's going to be bad weather, but a little rain is not going to hurt it. Yeah. Oh, I don't want to have to clean it up. Well, if you got a car like that and you don't want to clean it up, I guess number one, you shouldn't have a car because you're going to clean them up. I mean, if you drive them, you're going to clean them up.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And that's what they're made to do. They're made to drive. Sorry, you guys got me started here.
No, you're
Got me on a
fine.
little tirade.
So
here.
how is your search for a trike going?
Not
I saw your
good.
post on Facebook.
For a what?
Did you like the one post?
Your post for a trike.
No, did you like the one?
That you were looking for a woman scorned.
Woman
trike?
scorned, yeah. And what's funny is somebody replied to that.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was pretty funny.
And they had a yard sale. I'm selling all my husband's junk. I messaged her. I said, "Hey, you got any motorcycles?" She said, "No." I said, "Dang it."
Oh, that's right. The trike. You're looking for a three-wheel
Yeah, I'm
motorcycle.
thinking about trying to. I can't afford one right now. The only way I can afford one is if just somebody was like, just wanting to get it out of the garage and sell it for next to nothing. Then I'd be ready to go. What are you looking at? Your
The dog.
He's hungry. He's wanting food. He's over there by the food going, "Mommy, mommy."
I don't know what my dog's doing. She just ate a sausage McMuffin this morning.
Maybe she needs to go out then.
Well, that's
so
possible.
she doesn't leave you a sausage McMuffin.
I don't know.
She's good about that. She doesn't leave those
That's good.
unsightly.
That's a good
I
thing.
don't
That's a
know.
good thing.
But anyway.
So, Pretty Dog, I switched to YouTube and saw the
There you
Great
go.
Pet.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, there was a delay in inflating the screen. They were sucking instead of blowing. No.
Who said that?
Todd Walker.
Okay, Todd.
No, they just put up an extra screen. Boy, I want to comment to that, but I'm not going to.
Probably not a good
I'm
idea.
not going to.
Probably don't.
That's why they called it the Monica Lewinsky screen. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got you.
Screen.
I got you. Anyhow, so what's coming up this week besides 4th of July? Anything? You guys got anything exciting planned?
Well, let's see.
I'm on summer break from graduate school. Woo!
So what are you going to do? Go look at Indian Mounds?
Yeah, she's going to work.
No, I'm going to move furniture from my house and make more Facebook Marketplace listings.
Chris Hurst is watching. He's down in Tennessee.
Yeah.
By the
okay.
way, go
So where
check
in
out
Tennessee?
my
Is it Gatlinburg?
Facebook Marketplace
so.
listings.
What all you have listed on Marketplace?
Oh,
All
okay.
sorts of
We can't
antique
even remember.
furniture, oil paintings.
Is Rick on there?
No.
Okay.
You can't have him.
We're
He's mine.
saving the best for last.
No, you're mine.
No motorcycles?
No motorcycles.
No trikes.
No trikes?
Yeah.
Well, I can get a regular motorcycle and buy training wheels.
But
So it doesn't have to be a trike. I looked at a couple last night, even on eBay. One I almost bid on. I thought I can't do it. It's like $750, which was cheap. It was clear up in Minnesota, and I was like,
Ooh. Yeah. You want to go up there and
Because then I got to
risk your life?
I got to get somebody to go take me up there.
Yeah.
Which I've had that before. I had somebody take me to Virginia to pick up my other hearse, which the blue one, it's like 4 years old now. And
Well, that's your main ride now, isn't it?
yeah,
You
it is.
probably
The black one I'm
drive that.
thinking about selling.
Oh, okay.
I like the black one. I just don't drive.
Maybe you could
as
trade
much.
it for a motorcycle.
Well, and I threw that out at a guy last night.
Right.
He was a member of a hearse club.
Okay.
And had a trike for sale. And I said, "Hey, you interested
There you
in
go.
trading?" And he said, "No, it's not mine. It's for my father-in-law." I said,
Oh, okay.
But the offer was out there. You never know. You never know.
Got to
And
be
there could-
creative in these days.
There could be a woman scorned out there. If there's any scorned women that have motorcycles you want to get rid of, contact me. Charlie Hargrave on Facebook. There you go. Just message me. We'll take care of you. It's not a problem. No problem.
my dog's behind me,
Yep.
You
sniffing
can
my butt.
see the tails.
What's going on? Hey, yeah, don't sniff my butt, all right?
Okay.
Why do dogs do that?
I don't know.
I'm not going to go into that. You
go
can
woof?
interview her.
She doesn't bark.
She doesn't bark.
You don't bark?
No.
She'll bark if there's someone like
If there's
at the
someone
door
she
or-
finds suspicious, she'll bark.
She'll bark.
Or if you offer her a ginger snap.
So it's
yeah.
good.
She likes ginger snaps, and so if you say, "Do you want a cookie?" then she
But you actually have to show her the cookie first.
yeah,
Wow,
she'll
she's a
bark.
smart dog.
She also I throw things up in the air. She catches them. She's pretty
Oh,
good
cool.
at that. She does
Patty
tricks.
Morgillian's watching. She's got a car show. I think it's August. It's in August. That's all I can tell you. It's in Highland, the village of Highland, home of Andrew Mackin.
Yeah, Mac, and isn't he on the council
Yeah,
or
well,
whatever?
Patty's the president of the council.
Well, so I guess my question is, how many people live in that village?
There
There
you
can't
go.
be a lot.
Yeah, Patty, you or Mackin, if you ever want to come on and talk about Highland politics or come on and talk about Highland, what's going on, you can talk about your car show even.
Well, I
Let us
think
know.
Jeffersonville is about 1,800 people, so I just
Sabina
Maybe I
used to
should
be
run for
2,700.
council. Do
Yeah.
you think I could be on the council?
I'm sure you could.
well,
I could be the whole council if there's only 1,500 people.
no, they actually have more than one. You know,
run
it's,
Why do they need
it's
more
government.
than one person?
it's
Patty,
government.
Patty Morgillian answered you already.
Okay,
Let's take guesses. Let's play high-low. here.
800,
800, less. Sydney.
400.
Sydney gets a guess.
Oh.
Less than
600.
400. Less than 600.
So 400.
Less than 400.
Oh,
Now, this isn't the amount.
301.
This isn't the amount of people on the council. This is the amount of people she says lives in the town. Okay.
301.
do they have these?
Less. Keep going. Keep going.
Is it a village?
195.
Is it a village? Is it actually a village?
It's a village.
How do they have a council with this many people?
Less than 195.
Less than 195. Oh my God, this is less.
Keep going.
60.
Less.
What?
That's what she just said. Less. I got the president.
20.
Less.
Are you playing
No,
with me?
come on.
Do they all live in the same
There's got to be
house?
more. There's 4 or 5 houses in that village. So, don't they have like a post office there? Everybody's got a post office. Doesn't matter how small you are.
She's got 15 written down.
15. Is there a post office in
15.
Highland?
And
There
there's
is a
more than
post
one
office.
person on the council?
We wonder why
Well,
the
yeah, you
post
gotta have
office is going
6.
broke.
6 people on the
6
council and there's
council?
15 residents?
So half
There's
of
Patty, there's got to be more.
half
Are they
15.
all in the same family?
Patty, how many is actually on?
Does she mean
goes-
there's 15 people on the council?
No, she said
there's
15.
6. There's 6 people on the council.
And a
There are
mayor.
15 and a mayor.
Yeah, there's 7.
Oh, so they don't have like a
So
commissioner.
Patty, what is the population of Highland? Is
Yeah.
what
I
we're
feel like
asking.
the
gotta be
official
inaccurate.
population.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
She's not. She's saying higher now, but she put 15 down, goofball. Let me see here. Hang on, Matt.
I would imagine there's got to be at least a
She
few.
doesn't know.
know.
What is the population of Highland, Ohio?
Oh, you think this is going to tell you?
We're going to find out.
It's not going to tell you.
254 in
Okay.
2010.
All right. So
Patty, where are you getting 15 from?
either they've had a fair amount of deaths in Highland, or
COVID.
yeah,
COVID-19.
COVID wiped Highland off the map.
254 people in 2010 to 15, which obviously we're going to have it'll probably be a lower number.
That's
because
scary.
we have a new census.
That is scary that Google would know that.
Why is that?
Well, because
It's a population. It's
Highland,
stat.
Ohio. Have you ever
They
been to
keep
Highland,
the
Ohio?
census everywhere, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Highland is I mean, it's
How about Jeffersonville? Let's find out.
1800.
What is the population of Jeffersonville, Ohio?
Okay, 1,200.
1,200 people in Jeffersonville.
No, don't forget about the extra 3.
That's right, 1,203.
Don't kill those 3 people off.
Well, they're not on council.
They're already gone.
Don't
that
kill
was in
those 3 people.
2010.
That's very rude.
That was in 2000.
But Jeffersonville does have, it's big enough to have a funeral home. Jeffersonville has a
Is
funeral
that where
home.
you think those 3 people are?
What's that got to do with population?
Well, we've actually, well, I mean, you know.
Well, we're big enough for a funeral home.
Yeah, actually, the gentleman that owns the funeral home, I think he has multiple funeral homes. So he's like in the funeral home business. Big man, big man. He's been in here a couple times.
Yes, he has. Well, okay, Sabina used to be 2,700 when I was a mayor back in 2000.
All right.
Big
So
shot.
Let's see what it is here.
So you think
What
it's
is the
higher or
population
lower?
of Sabina? Lower.
You better say Ohio.
Sabina lower.
Hang on. I have to put my glasses on probably for this one.
She didn't tell you to do that? Put your glasses on, Charlie.
No.
Sabina, Ohio.
2,547.
Okay.
So,
And you also have a casino there.
well, we have one of those little walk-in crazy things like they have.
Have you
out
been
here.
in it?
No, I've not been in it.
Well, that's surprising.
Well, I don't have the extra money to gamble right now.
Yeah.
If he
I-
had extra money, he'd have a trike.
I drove by
He
there.
could ride his trike to the game.
Well, you know, our gaming center here has reopened,
That's right.
but they've not really seemed
walk
to
to
be
this one.
that busy. So I don't know whether they're socially distancing or whether people just aren't as interested in getting out, or
Maybe people don't have money to spend at gaming casinos.
I don't know why.
You know what? Sabina's been packed lately.
Has it?
It has been packed. It really has.
Well, I mean, there's not much to do with your time now.
Well, and I tell you what, I just don't have the extra money to gamble. Right?
So how does that work? Do you know anything about, for instance, do they charge them per machine like they do here in Jeffersonville?
I don't think
a
so.
fee?
But I told the mayor about what they do in Jeffersonville, so I don't.
Oh, that was nice of you.
Well, yeah, because we might as well.
Where do you live?
Make that
Where do you live in Sabina,
money.
Charlie? Behind the fire station.
Yes.
So if you own
229
the gaming center and suddenly you see $75 a machine fee, Charlie, yeah, you can come see Charlie.
Because guess who told me about it? Right down there at the end of the table. There we go.
Well, they here in Jeffersonville, it's, from what I understand, $75 per machine. Now, the one that we have here, I think they've got at least 100, if not more, machines. So, you know, that's
So
per
Jayville
year.
makes money off that.
But not only that, the state of Ohio gets so much a machine. So
Dollar makes you
they
holla.
they collect a revenue to license. And now they are even licensing those claw machines that you see, like, you know,
like in Walmart.
in truck stops and Walmart. Yeah, everything has to be
Which
licensed.
is like goofy. Like,
Well, that is a thieving thing.
Well, no, I mean,
Claw machines.
it's
I
all
never went
considered
those.
gaming now, and so the way that it works in these gaming centers is the center itself has a license which costs X for 3 years. I think it's $2,500 for 3 years. Then they have to pay the city of the village of Jeffersonville, $75 a machine times the number of machines that they have per year. And then the person that is the responsible person of the gaming center, someone that is the go-to person in case you have a complaint as far as the state has a complaint, they pay, I don't know whether it's $750 for 3 years, another it's $250 a year, but it's something like that to be the licensee. So the center is licensed. The person that operates it has to have a separate license, and then the games themselves are licensed. So, but they bring in a ton of money too.
Right.
I mean, I've heard it as much as $4,000 or $5,000 an hour.
Jason Wald is watching. What's going on, Jason? I got an appointment with him soon. So
you have an employment? An appointment.
Yes.
Is he a doctor?
Yeah, no, he's an accountant.
Oh, he's an accountant.
Yeah, good guy.
You mean just, hey, did you hear that they're talking about, because taxes were pushed back because of the COVID virus?
Right. They pushing them back again?
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. They were pushed back to July the 15th.
Right.
Now I'm hearing that they're going to push them back to September the 15th.
Really? I mean, they haven't officially done it.
But that's what they're contemplating. September the 15th.
I'd like to know if we're going to get this second stimulus.
Well, that was part of that. The stimulus and all that. And the stimulus now, the latest that I've heard is just another $1,200. But
I'll take it.
But children,
sign me up.
Children, instead of being $500, will be $1,200.
Yes.
And
that'd be $3,600.
And students will be counted from because it wasn't 17, was it?
Last time there was a gap there, like 17 to 21.
They'll all be covered. They'll each get
They didn't get it.
Yeah, they'll get stimulus as well, the $1,200.
Just give me my original money.
Yeah, we haven't gotten our first stimulus, so
do you guys call every day on that?
Call who?
You can't call anyone. See, they give you a number to call. They say we hired 3,500 more.
It's an automated phone number.
And then at the end of it, like all automated phone numbers,
hangs up on you.
You can't talk to a person. So you can't, unless your question or unless you're, they give you all this, like pay attention to the menu because it has changed.
So
all these menus change and they're new menus. How's that work?
All of it, and then it hangs up on you.
Yeah, so you still don't get to the, and I don't know what you would do if you were still in the process of filing taxes, because the IRS is supposed to have a line that you can call to help you with your taxes. Right. I'd call that number, but the problem is they don't even have that. So, and that's the other thing I don't understand. Everything else is opening up, but city and county government, they're still closed. You can't go in and physically talk to anybody, because they're still.
But I got my not income. I got my property tax bill. They still want that.
Oh yeah, of course. So you're paying full. It's the same thing with schools. They cut the budget on schools, but you're still going to pay as much in property tax. They're not going to. You think the government's ever going to take their hand out of your pocket or give you, any money back? Have you ever gotten a refund check from the government?
Just Bush when he did his thing, and then Trump's last little $1,200.
Yeah, that's not really a refund though. They're just giving your money back.
I did get refunds for my income. I did get refunds for my income tax. Now last year, I didn't get very much back, which saddened me, and that's why I've been putting off.
Well, I mean,
doing it this year.
Once again, it's a matter of what you make and what you claim, and
Well,
how it works.
I'm going through this adjustment period into retirement, and it's hard to figure that out.
How long ago did you retire, Charlie?
3 years ago now.
And you're still adjusting?
Yeah, because I was doing different things. I was selling life insurance.
Oh, that's right.
Took off, and now
I'm
back to subbing. But
speaking of life insurance, do you still have some policies that are in force that pay you a little bit of money? You getting any commission?
I'm not getting anything.
Nothing. So it's done.
It's done.
Okay, so no commission.
Done. A guy asked me yesterday, he said, how come you're not selling insurance anymore? I said, because people like you. And he goes, what's that
pleasant.
mean? He said, well, none of you have life insurance in your family. You all need it. And you said you were going to buy it from me, and you're still asking about it. And hell, I quit over a year ago.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
But you still have your office.
Here's the thing I told him. I said, I hope nothing bad happens to you, but you're a fool if you don't get life insurance.
So do you still have your office, Charlie?
Yes.
Is this like a place now just to get away from the wife?
No, actually, I got my trophies in there. If you ever stop in there sometime,
You shouldn't ask people questions like that.
Are you talking to me?
Well, duh. Is there someone else in here that I should be talking to?
Well, maybe Rachel and Charlie need to do some social distancing occasionally.
We're fine. I work on my trophies in there, and I have a yard sale. July 3rd, this Friday, come up.
At your
16
office?
South Howard Street.
Oh, okay.
It's a perfect place for a yard
it's
sale.
like right on the main
There's
drag.
there's no grass, Charlie. It's a parking lot.
It's a sidewalk
well,
sale.
duh.
Okay, that makes more sense. You better
Sidewalk
call
sale.
it what it is, a sidewalk sale.
Well, sidewalk sale. It's a sale.
Well, they have a sidewalk sale,
trying to
what,
get rid of
Labor
some
Day?
junk.
He's selling
Isn't
stuff,
Labor
okay?
Day when they have the, sidewalk sale
He
across
has
America?
sales every couple weeks.
Yes.
Do you even log on to Facebook?
I told you I have not posted anything other than
I'm not
business
talking about
stuff.
your own posts. You could look at other people's.
Well, I'm just saying I have not
he should
posted
get
anything.
mine, I
I'm
think.
just.
I've not posted anything on Facebook for 3 weeks.
I'm not talking about you.
Posting.
Look
We're
at
talking about
other people's posts.
I don't know. Do you post?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
By the way, go check out letsgetpersonal.com
There you go.
for my journalism articles.
I don't
that
really look
write.
at Facebook as much as I look at Instagram now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just look at my feed. So,
Well, your
congratulations.
feed has got all your
Ding, ding, ding,
your,
ding, 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 ding.
college friends on it.
You know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the BS meter going off. Ding, 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 ding.
Congratulations.
Well, Sydney
you
was
found
in
the
a
hot chicks.
Sydney was in a sorority, and they were all pretty hot. So, what can I say?
I don't even know how to reply to that without smacking you.
I can turn my head if you want to slap me.
The camera's on.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to get slapped with an elderly abuse charge.
Oh,
By the police.
That
There's
was good. Point Sydney.
It's
right
not the first
there.
time she said that.
That's hilarious. I like it. I like it. Let's see. What time is this? We're getting close. Yeah, we got about 10 minutes left. I had to stretch a little bit this morning. Comrade Kim's not in the house, or we'd be going over. Next week, I'll try. I got this woman ready to come in anytime, so you guys let me know if a microwave
She's the
appears.
cooking queen,
Yep,
right?
she's ready to go at any time. I talked to the mayor of Sabina. He may come on. I also talked to Susan Valentine Scott, so I think she'll be on in the future. She is the head of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, which you talk about having a hard time right now.
Well, is this in Clinton County?
Clinton County, yeah.
Yeah.
Clinton County. But
So
she
you're saying
lives in courthouse.
They're all right.
She lives in
She lives in
courthouse.
courthouse,
So
and
she's
she
a-
works in Clinton County.
She's a local, is what I'm trying to
So
say.
you don't have to live in the county to be in charge of the county.
Obviously not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
County
do they even
Convention
do
and
that
Visitors.
anymore? Do you have to be a police officer and live in the city that you?
We
police?
like for them to, but no.
It's not
I don't
requirement.
think you can actually do that legally anymore.
Oh, okay. It's like
The only
discrimination?
people that have to be, obviously, are people that are in the government. Because if you're a mayor or if you're a councilman, yes, you obviously have to live.
well, that would make sense. If you're a councilman, you'd have to be living in the ward. I would imagine that you represent, wouldn't you?
Well, but if you're in a village, they don't have wards. They're just all at large.
Oh, okay. They're all large in villages. You're saying there's a bunch of fat people who live in villages?
They're at large.
Oh,
not
okay.
large.
Okay.
There's only
That
large
doesn't mean
when I
some
was
of
on
them
council.
aren't large.
It's true. Actually, our council right now is pretty thin.
Are they?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
They've thinned
How many
out.
people are in your council?
6. It's the same.
Is it
It's-
standard?
It's a standard thing.
Standard
Yeah,
operating?
six council people, then you have a mayor, and then you have a choice here. You can either have everybody has a clerk, treasurer too, but you can either have a board of public affairs, which usually is a 3-member board that looks over the water, sewer, and streets, or the more efficient way, in my opinion, is to have a village administrator that is the head of that department that reports every council meeting. Then you have your police chief, or if you don't have police in town, some
Use the
villages
sheriff?
are using a sheriff
Right.
now.
Do they pay for that?
Oh yeah, the town has to pay for it.
So does it make any sense? The sheriff is for the whole county. You're already paying to have sheriffs in the county. Why would, if you wanted them to come in and police, a village, which is still part of the county? I mean, they still have jurisdiction in that part
But
of
it
it.
costs more money because now you have to add positions, and that's all you do is you pay for whatever that position would be. Like if you want 2 positions, you pay for it. If the town does. So the town would have.
So
to pay
how
for
many police officers does the city of Sabina have
it. I'm
currently?
not real sure
Couple?
right now.
2?
I know they have the chief. No, I know I can think of at least. I think we have at least 4. Right now.
And is it true that they say that Sabina, it's sort of a speed trap?
Yes, 24/7. They have 24/7 coverage. Sabina, I don't know if it's as much as a speed trap as it used to be. Most of the police I know, and most of them are very nice. Most of them are class acts. We've had some in the past that, thank God, aren't there anymore because they would have got the village sued because they just the way they acted. But right now, all the ones I actually know, I'm happy to say that they are police in our town. But one thing that worries me also is, it's like when I was mayor. Worst thing about Sabina and being a cop is if you're any good at all, you're going to go on to Wilmington
or
you're
the
gonna
sheriff's
go to sheriff's
department.
department, and you're just going to, they pay so much more than what Village of Sabina can pay.
So what does a police officer in Sabina make?
I'm not sure now.
So what do you think they make? Estimate, rough. I mean, it's public knowledge, right?
Yeah.
40,000?
Oh, no, I don't think anywhere near that.
20,000?
I'd say 20, 25.
Okay. So you think a sheriff's deputy makes like 40?
They make 30 some at least, if not 40.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about Sabina, see, we do have 24/7 coverage, so it's not just, it's not just having.
Well,
somebody
speeding
on 10,
happens all the
12
time,
hours.
Charlie.
Right. Well, and they do.
And they probably have some domestic issues occasionally.
They do other stuff as well, but I tell you what, the COVID stuff, and I'll be honest with you too, I don't know if I'd want to be a police officer.
Because of the COVID?
No, I like our judges, but man, they just aren't doing a whole lot right now. They're just slapping people on the wrist and saying, have a nice day.
You mean the judges that we have currently in Clinton County?
Yeah, and I like both of them. I like both,
Are you talking about the municipal judge?
I like all of them.
Well, I mean,
Daugherty, I like Ruddock, I like Chad Carey.
Well, Carey's
Chad's juvenile.
Yeah, he's a juvenile judge, so
but it just
you're out of that
It just
era,
seems
Charlie.
to me that we're not being very stern with people.
Yeah. Well,
That's me.
let me check.
No,
I mean, that's my feeling.
That's probably Bill again.
It's probably Bill Raybeck calling again.
Probably.
You need to put him on mute. Joe Holder, that's just about as bad.
Cowboy Joe calling in.
Just about as bad. Tell Joe we said hello. Hey, don't forget to come back because we're about done. So, what's coming up? Anything else coming up this week?
No, on July 6th, I have to go get a EEG on my brain at
That doesn't sound like any fun.
the Brain and Spine Center at Ohio State.
See, is
Then
that like
see
where
my
you lay in the tube?
neurologist. No, it's like they're going to hook up a bunch of electrodes to my head and try to induce seizures by shining lights in my face and stuff.
That don't sound like any fun.
No, it's not going to be exciting.
I don't like that at all. God, that doesn't. But if it helps you, I guess that's the main thing. But
I guess we'll see what happens.
yeah, if it helps you, I mean that's a good thing. Heatwave saying, "Have a great day, everyone."
You too.
And next week we'll have Comrade Kim back, and we'll also actually this week has been a lot slower in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Not the show part, but what's going on in the world.
Yeah, which
didn't
is a
have
good
as
thing
much,
because sometimes we gotta slow down.
We didn't talk about the crazy lawyers too much in St. Louis, but
No.
yeah, the people with the guns out there, the protesters. But hey, they have every right to do that.
I guess we're also going to see how this Chaz Chop, whatever we're calling it, pans out with the motorcycle
death.
gang and the.
Another death happened there last night. There's been 2 or 3 deaths
So that's
now.
supposed to go down July 4th.
Several rapes and in this Chop area, and they're
There's
not.
supposed to
How's
be
that no police working for you there, Chop?
The motorcycle gang's supposed to be going to confront these Antifa people.
Is that really going to happen? I've not really
I
seen much
don't
of that.
know 100% if they're actually.
I'm not really seeing much of that at all.
I haven't heard much about it since they first released that they were going to go out there.
Yeah.
But I don't think that, for example, these motorcycle gangs are the kind that need to be hyped up to
They're the
do
1%,
something. They're
yeah.
kind of like, they put their money where their mouth is.
Right.
They're just going to do whatever they say they're going to do.
It'll be interesting to see what does happen.
And I also don't think that they need fame or glorification for doing what they say they're going to do. They'll just put it to you. You know what I mean? Kind of a thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, let me hit my car show schedule real quick,
All right,
and then
sounds good.
we'll be out of
And then
here
we'll wrap
because
it
it's
up
about
'cause
10.
It's 9:58.
Tonight we'll be down Chubby's Pizza. All of these are weather permitting, 5 to 8. If you're not doing anything, come down. It's great food. If you have an old car or a classic car, everybody gets a free ice cream. On Thursday,
Free ice cream?
Yeah, free ice
Chubby's
cream.
Pizza.
Yep.
Okay.
Thursday at Generations Pizza, you get a $5 off card there, and if you come and eat at Generations and bring an old car or motorcycle or anything that's considered a classic car. Friday, we're going to be down at Classics Diner in
That's in Hillsborough, isn't it?
and
Yeah.
all you can eat fish. All you can
What
eat
kind of fish?
Perch, I believe.
Oh, perch is good.
And yeah, it's real good fish. I've had it several times, and I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully the weather will be good. Our 4th of July.
Is that your first one in Hillsborough?
Second?
Second one. Okay.
4th of July show got canceled in Blanchester because of the COVID. But my next car show is July 11th, and if you have my schedule, it's not going to be at the bowling alley. It's going to be at the VFW. But it's the A-Bait Car and Bike Show, and it'll be at the VFW in Wilmington on July 11th. And then that's a Saturday. Then on the 12th, we'll be back out Cedar Creek for, we call this one the Bob Lucas Car Show. Bobby was a great guy who passed away of a heart attack several years ago, who was a friend of the car show community. Usually we do his show in the spring, but what happened this year was Holiday Inn and Hampton Inn, they thought they were going to be having construction, which they haven't.
So what were they supposed to be doing?
Well, that's
remodeling.
That's where we would have. No, they're supposed to put a new hotel in there.
In that empty
in
lot?
Between the Holiday Inn and the Hampton.
Well, they owned
Inn.
all that property
Right.
back there, didn't they?
But I don't know if COVID's. I'd say COVID's probably nixed that. So
Do we really need that many hotel rooms?
I tell you what, they're full all the time.
Are they?
When the economy's going, yeah, Amazon keeps them full. And Roberts's horse shows, yeah. When events are happening, those hotels.
Well, let's
stay
get back
full.
to everything opening.
Yeah. And then the 12th, like I said, I've got the Cedar Creek car show. So 11th, VFW, come on out. And the 12th will be Cedar Creek. And I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July.
Yeah, even if we don't celebrate it, right?
Yeah, well, I'll probably, if I'm not at
You
my
can still
private
celebrate
party,
it. Maybe not the same way you did in the past, but still do something to celebrate
Well,
Independence Day.
Wilmington has fireworks going on.
That's right. Never gone to one. Never will.
That's fun.
Oh,
Washington courthouses are usually a little better because they have music and stuff with it, but they're not having theirs this year. So anyhow,
well, we had music
no,
when we did ours
no festival of the
in
bells.
Jeffersonville. No,
What else?
that sounds like a Christmas show.
Yeah, that's their holiday.
I'm
That's
sure our
their-
next door neighbors will still be firing on their
Oh, that's
shooting
right.
range
Yeah,
on
they
the
have
property.
a shooting
so.
range, so they bring in their friends and.
No rock the block this year.
No.
No pumpkin run.
Well, it's 10 o'clock, so we got to end the show.
Hey,
Bye, everybody.
Everybody have a great day. And,
You've been listening to WZAA 106.9 LPFM in Jeffersonville, Ohio.
and on my Facebook Live. Everybody have a great day.